I had one that I had this email come in from Valentis, and it had a video in the email, and I was wondering if I could take that email or that video and put it in my Valentis page.
All right, let's see if we can, let's see, admit, there we go. So let me see if I can get that pulled up. Hold up a minute. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick. Let me pull it. I got to figure out which email I have it in.
I am.
Do you remember what the title of it was? I see the product extension.
It was on the 24th, I do believe.
Okay, let me get there. Was it an invite or was it thermo? Okay, there we go. Let's see.
No, it wasn't an invite. It was advertising that new product or advertising.
The ThermoPost, the
yes.
Thermo Roast and Perk.
Yes, that's it. It was a pill.
Yep. All right, mine isn't a video.
You have to click on the link.
Okay, let me get.
Let's see. Because I ordered some of that.
Yep, I got it the last time too. I just hadn't tried it yet. So, all right, I'm gonna do a screen share again and see if you can, because mine's not opening in a link.
Oh, it says check it out. So right underneath the picture, let's see.
Is this it?
No. No, that's not the one. The title says check it out, new perk video. Also available on Valentis app later today. So it starts out with your name and check it out.
There you go. All right. All right, so here's the video. All you have to do is copy that link, and then you just put it in your website. So what you would do is, I'm actually in edit mode here. We'll go down to Valentis right here. So if I wanted to put that video, I would click on a block, do image, do insert URL, and copy that. Yep. And then hit apply. Hopefully, let's see if it shows up. And then hit update. And then let's see preview, see if it's in there. If it's not, then we'll go the other direction. Nope, it didn't show up. So we're going to do this then. I'm going to go back. And we're going to click on the video. Okay. And then once you hit play, we're going to see if it will let us. You're going to right click the video. It might be protected. If it's protected, it won't let you do it.
I don't think you can right click on it.
Yep. So they have it protected, so you can't copy it.
Oh, man.
Yep. So the only thing that you can do is go to, this would be the next thing to do, go to YouTube. All right, so now let's just go to YouTube. And we're going to type in your search, Valentis Thermoperk. So if this is here's the video, right? Looks like you.
That one, isn't it? That
Okay.
one?
So then all you have to do is open it up. And from here, you're just going to hit copy. You can do the embed code or you can do the video URL. And then we can come back to our site and let's get rid of this. And let's see if we can open it up again, do image, insert URL, paste. There you go. So there's that.
Anything off of YouTube you could take?
Yep. As long as it allows you to copy it, you can. And then if you want to do the embed code, if you go to episode 19, it shows you how to put that code in there in an embed code so it doesn't go to the next video. It just stops at that video. I haven't done it yet. I probably need to go in there and do it. Let me get these people in here.
Oh, there you are.
Yep. There's new security on here, so if you don't come in on the time, we have to actually admit you. So
Okay.
it'll take a bit.
Okay. Like, what? I was fixing to go on Skype and go, okay, are we not having a meeting today?
Yeah. So yeah.
But thank you for letting me in.
No problem.
Right.
It just pops up when somebody comes on,
Uh-huh.
and I have to go in and click, yeah, to let you in that you need to be here. So
Right.
it takes a bit. So, but that's how you would go and get that video. And then if you go to episode 19, it shows you how to, if you copy the embed code, which is an HTML, how to go in and put that code in there so it doesn't go to the next page or the next video on here. So that when they're watching it, it just doesn't continue to show. I'll probably do a class on that next week. How to get that code in there, because I have to go through episode 19 to get the code and make sure that it works, because it deals with HTML. So what we were asking, or what was asked, is Valentis sent out this video for the new Thermoperk. And here's the link for it. But if you click on this link, it goes to Valentis, and they have the code, their video is coded, so you can't copy it. You can't, it doesn't allow you to copy from here. So what we did was we went to YouTube and did a search for Valentis Thermoperk. And then from here, it's the same video. It's got actually a little bit more. So if we wanted to go back and look up Valentis, here's the actual one, because it was 4 minutes and 14 seconds. This one's actually 5:59 or 5:39. So you want the one that is actually showing. You don't want any extra unless you watch it and see what the extra is. And then if that works better for you, you can. So you just click on the video. Once it starts, you click on the right click button and it gives you the commands. If you do the embed code, you do an HTML block, and then you can put that embed code in there and then put the command that's in episode 19 so that it stops once that video stops playing. If you just want to do the URL, you just copy the URL and then go back to your page, and then you're going to open up a block, and then you're going to do an image, and in the image you're going to click insert URL. You're going to click post that URL and paste it, and then it will show that video. But just remember, if you do it that way, you can't put that code in it. So it really depends on what you want to do. And then right up.
Does that take them off the page?
No, this actually will show the video in your page, and it'll just show the next video right after that. It doesn't leave your page.
Okay.
Yep. And then right up underneath here where it says caption, this is where you can click where it says, you know, you can actually put a command, order now, and start dropping. And then this is where you put your link to your Valentis. So I'm just going to come over here and grab my links. And you can do it one or two ways. Since that is one of my training pages, I can actually put in the link for that. But I think I'm just going to do a Valentis. So I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to grab my Valentis link. And I always put in my corporate link unless it specifically has a link to go to that product. I don't think that ThermoPerk has a link in itself yet. So I'm just going to highlight this, hit my link button, paste it in there. And since it's a direct link going off of my site, I'm just going to hit open in a new tab and upload it. So then this right here has a link to it. And then if I want to change the color, I can. We're going to try and see if it works today. It didn't work yesterday or last week. I couldn't get it to work. So there it goes, green. Then you can bold it. I don't like that green, so I want to custom colorize the green, make it just a little bit darker. There we go. So there you go. So that's how that works. And then you can just, you know, update it. And then there's videos there, and it goes with my Valentis. And you can do that with any of your pages. Paul was actually going over in his training today on how you can go back on some of your older pages that you've had out there for a while and update your page, especially with the wine promo like Roy was talking about. Going into your wine pages, don't change your titles, don't change your key phrases. Don't change your slug. You're just going to go in and add content for the new wines. You know, like you were saying, put in a content about the Ricard Merlot and actually say Ricard Merlot or More Than Muse or the Ashley wine or Freedom, the Freedom wine. Go in and actually say that. Write a page, or not a page, or put in a couple of paragraphs and make sure those words are in there. It's not going to change your slug. It's not going to change your key phrase. You don't want to do that, especially if you've already started advertising those. You're not going to change your title. You're just going to add to. And like I've always said, when people search Google, they search for key phrases. And even though that may not be your key phrase, if it appears in your content anywhere, it will show up. It won't show up first. It'll show up where the key phrases are, but once all the key phrase pages are shown, then it shows every site that that word or phrase appears in. So your content can get seen several different ways. It can get seen based solely on the key phrase, and it can get seen based on how many times you use that phrase or that content in your pages. So that's why if you see any of my writing, if I find a couple of different key phrases that are really good, that people are hitting hard, I use one as my main key phrase, but then I also use the other term throughout my page. So the one I did on nanotechnology and nootropics, both of those are great key phrases, but I didn't do a page on both, on individual pages on nanotechnology and an individual page on nootropics. So what I did was I put nanotechnology and, because that's the key phrase is and, it didn't have anything after it. And then I also use nootropics. So now when people start searching for nanotechnology, my page will show up. When they start searching for nootropics, my page will still show up. because I have incorporated both of those words in one page. So I will get double the traffic, so depending on what they're searching. So that's what Paul was trying to say today, is that when you go in, don't change your key phrases on pages that you've already got advertising going to. Just add to it, get a couple of different blocks, and put in, hey, I got a great recipe that goes with this great Rick and Merlot wine, you know, and put in your recipe, or talk about how you've had a dinner, or we've got this new exclusive Rick and Merlot wine that's only exclusively through our wine club, that is made by a great winery in Napa Valley. We can't say the winery. That's just, you know, part of the regulations, but we can say that it is made in a Napa Valley community winery.
Sheila?
Yes.
Are you guys aware of the fire that's going on and
Yes.
it got Sonoma?
Yep. A lot of the vineyards so far, I don't think any of ours have been what do you call it, have been affected by it, but some of them have. The good thing about it is that the wines that we have are already been vetted, or vatted, as you can say. They're already in the process for next year. So it's the new stuff that they would have. So there's a lot of the vineyards that have been affected by the fires. I have some students that's been affected by those fires.
I was like, oh no, Sonoma, no, no, no.
Yep. So, but the wines that are going out now are wines that were processed 3-4 years ago. So, and the wines that are going to be coming out are wines that were processed, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, that are now ready to be bottled. It's the new wines that Rory said he's going to taste that are already vatted, and they're just tasting them for if they're ready to be bottled. It's all the new stuff, the new grapes that they're going to be getting to process for wines 2 or 3 years from now. So we should be good on our wines. So that's how you would go and get that video, Phyllis, and put it in your site. Like I said, if you do copy the embed code, go to episode 19. Let's see if we can get there now. I'm going to just go ahead and go.
Thank you,
Let's do
Keela.
it. Well, all right. So let's see. Right. All right. Here is the embed code. All right. All right. And this is just for the Wine and Dine exclusively.
Are those codes that we have to copy into ours?
You can. So if you're creating a Wine and Dine page and you want to do the Wine and Dine program, this is it right here. Okay. So go to episode 19, and there's that. There's a code in here somewhere. I got to find it. Maybe I'm overlooking it. Maybe it's just the Wine and Dine code. I'll have to play with it because I know there's a single code.
It says this is what is added after the video, a YouTube file. Or is that not it?
Yeah, but I don't want it to go to Wine and Dine. That might be just the code to put in. So we can see, let me see something. So where did they start the code? So they started after the question mark. All right, so let's go to, shoot, I closed it out, but it's on my page. So we're going to play this. And I'm going to copy the embed code from here. we're going to see how it works. So I'm going to go here and I want an HTML block. So I'm going to go to formatting, go to HTML. I'm going to copy this, paste this HTML. I'm going to look for the question mark. And there's not a question mark here. So let's go back here and see. All right, so I want to see, there it is. So after, before, frame border. So did it take out frame border? RG, blah, 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 blah. Nope. Okay, so I see where it's at. So they're going to take out the question mark. So we're going to copy this right here. We're going to come back here and right here, I'm going to see if I can remember how I do this. I'm going to paste. And then let's preview. There we go. So that's it. So we're going to take this one out. So to remove a block, you're just going to click on the block. You're going to have these 3 dots. At the very bottom, it says remove block. Now we're going to see if this plays, and it plays. Perfect. But the difference now is when it goes to the end, it stops. So it should stop right here, and it's going to, that's it. And that's what you want it to do. It stays right there. Had we not put that code in there, then what it would have done was whatever the next video in the sequence is would have started playing.
Okay.
So that's why you want to put that code in. And where you put the code is you're going to copy this whole code right here. And after the quotation marks in the RG, or wherever your embed code is before the frame border, you're just going to copy or paste that code. So instead of the quotes now, you're going to have the question mark, and that's all you copy. Then the frame border and everything else will be encrypted. And they've actually changed the size of the video. So if we wanted to go into this video and say the video was too big, and you're going to go to your HTML, and this is a perfect size. It's 580 by 326. But if you wanted it smaller, then this is where you would change it. You just change your numbers right here. You want to make sure they stay in proportion. If you wanted to make it bigger, you can. So let's go to preview. Let's hit update. And let's go to preview and see how big that video actually is with that sizing. So it's pretty big. It actually goes off the side of my page, so it's pretty wide. So let's go in and change the width of that video. So let's change this width to 380. And let's change the height. We can leave the height that size and hit preview now, or hit save. And then let's go to the preview and see how that changed it. So now it's really short, so I can actually make it a bit wider if I wanted to, maybe do a 420 so that it covers my page. So that's how you can go in and change the sizing. You can even make it not so tall. So let's leave this, make this 480, and maybe change this to 300. Update. And then let's hit preview. And then we can come down and see, now that's better. So that's how you would go in and transfer any videos from YouTube to your page, and make sure that you do go to episode 19, copy that code that's in there. There are videos right here. So where do you see this? You can click on the video right here. Rory has done, I don't know if it's Rory or Paul, has done the video. It actually has the instructions here. Add the line of info above after the ... 1 RG, depending on what your code is, and before the quotes. So that's how you do it. Yes.
You know, how do you know which one of these are that you need to copy and put into your page?
If it's most of them, if they're protected, they won't allow you to copy it.
I mean, from 19.
Huh?
From episode 19, you copied some of these codes.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, you want the one that has the one that says protection code. So like this one right here, the embed code right here, anchor offer 1.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the actual code, but when you put the embed code in, this is what it looks like, and you want to make sure it has the wine and dine.
Even if it's going to a Valentis video?
Yeah, that's what I was worried about, but this is just the code that they have. I think this is the keyword to let them know that it's a protected site.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Because I haven't used it before, so this is because I usually just use the link. But again, if you just want it to stay on that particular video and you don't want them to see anything else other than that video, then you want to make sure you copy the embed code and then copy this link in there for any embed code that you put in or any HTML code. That way they don't see any other advertising other than that specific video you want them to see for your product. Okay. Which is a good idea, because then they won't see, like I said, they only see what you want them to see.
Right, right.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to play around with that next week.
Yep. I'm going to play with it today too. I got some ideas on some good things that I want to do. Also, when you go to episode 19, here's some great key phrases that Rory has put in there. There's also some things on how to advertise for the wine, some different sayings, you know, just some great information on episode 19. So you can go in there and look at that. Okay. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So the thing about YouTube, when you go to YouTube and look for videos on there or anything on the YouTube, if it's a copyright, look through the information. It will tell you that it's copyrighted. A lot of the times, if it does have copyrights in it, you won't be able to copy the codes. The codes are not there. The video just plays. But if it is copyrighted or if it's protected, it will tell you when you actually pull up the video in the comments. It will tell you that you know, if you want to use this video, please contact, or you know, whatever. It will have the contact information. Plus, it won't let you copy the video. So that's one of the things you need to be aware of. Anything on YouTube is accessible. It's available for you to use, just like things on Google. When you go to Google Images, if you were watching the training today with Rory, he pulled up a page or an image that he wanted to use with the doors, and it had the red door at the end. But when he actually pulled up the page to look at it, it had like little swirls and writing on it. So that was a protected page. It had watermarks on it. You can't use that page. You can't use images with watermarks. You actually have to pay the company that made that image, and then they will send you what they call a clean copy for you to use in there, in your website or in your advertising. But if you get caught in your pages using a watermarked image, they will shut you down. You can lose your access to your website. It won't be advertised on Google.
What if it was like a mistake or an accident?
It doesn't matter. If it is, that's why I tell people, go through your images. If you have, because I had one on there, I didn't know. It was so light that I couldn't see it until I actually expanded the image. And I was like, oh, let me get this off of here. So you want to make sure you go through your images. And the best way to do that is just go through your when you open up your image folder, just open up, go to your website, open up your image, your media library, and just look through them and see, if you have to, pull them up and look real close, scrutinize them and say, okay, do I have anything that has a watermark on it? And then what you're going to need to do is you'll have to remove it from here, but then wherever you remove it from, it removes it everywhere in your website. So that's one of the things that Paul also was talking about on Thursday in his class, was that when you go through here and start cleaning up your images, just remember every image that you have in here, even if it's a duplicate, the reason it's a duplicate is you downloaded it twice to use somewhere. So anything that you've downloaded and used, whether it's a duplicate or not, that page that's used in, when you remove it, it will remove it from that page. Because I've seen some people, I even did it myself. It's like, oh, I duplicate image, let me remove it. So whenever I remove duplicate images, it removed it off the page that I downloaded it specifically for that. Even though I had another one in there, it wasn't downloaded in that page. So be very cautious when you go and start duplicating and eliminating duplicate images. They're in there for a reason. You've downloaded them again, and you've used them for a specific page. Please mute yourself when you come in, so I don't have feedback. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, because I didn't realize you could go in and find all of the videos or pictures that you've added to your PBS.
Yep. So yeah, if you just go to your media library and open it up, you'll see everything.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So you can, and the other thing
I was going to ask too, when you had double pictures, because I got a bunch of them.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you haven't used them. So even though you can get rid of them, but then you're going to have to go through your website and find where you have that, because it's going to have that little blue icon that shows a blank block, and it's going to say image missing or alternative attribute missing, which means your picture's gone. So if you come across that, then that means there's a picture that's gone, but all of the information related to that picture is still going to be there. It's in code. That's the thing about code. Some of you have gone through the broken link checker, and you come up and it pulls up a code, or it pulls up a link, and you pull up the page and there's no link there. That's because the image or the block that was there, you removed the image, but you didn't remove the block. You didn't remove the content that was there. So that coding is still in your page. You just don't see it. So a lot of times when people, come to me, it's like, I got this link, I can't find it, my students, and I have to go in and pull up the page in code and then match it up. And then usually that's where it's at, because you've removed the image, but you didn't remove the block that the image was in. Therefore, all the coding is still in there. The links, the attributes, everything is still there in code. So that's one of the things you have to remember.
So Sheila, in this area right here that we're at, so if you have two pictures identical, and then you say, oh, I don't want duplicates, so I'm going to delete this one. That could delete it from your PBS?
Yes, if you've used it, because that's the thing is that's why we've been stressing, before you upload a picture, go through your media library and make sure you don't have it already. Because when you download in and use it in that page, it's assigned to that page. So okay. Even though it's in your media library and people just like, oh, it's in my library, I'm just going to use it. No, you put that picture in a page, it's assigned a code. That code's for that page only and that picture in that page. So whenever you come into your media library and remove duplicate pages, you've removed that picture coded to that specific page, even though it's the same picture. Gotcha. So yeah, so it's like you're going, you have multiple pictures. Say you went and you got copies of a picture for your family, and you labeled them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but then it's like, all right, well, who got number 5? Well, number 5's not there, but you still had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You went and deleted number 5, but you didn't delete it from the source that was there. That source is still there. So when you delete the picture, you got a blank hole in that source. So same thing with your website. You
Okay.
have just like
Yeah,
this one right. Yeah, just like this right here. I have 3 of the same ones. That means I
Right.
downloaded this picture 3 times. It shows up on 3 different pages. So if I deleted 2 of them, I got to go and find which 2 pages this picture no longer shows up in.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's why I always say, you know, yeah, I want to go in and clean it up, but the first time I did it, it took me months to go back and find all my blanks. So now I don't worry about it, but before I upload a picture or say, oh yeah, I need me a good picture, I check my media library first, and make sure I don't have anything in there that I can use. And so that's why we tell you, don't just randomly go in and upload pictures to your media library to use later. That just takes up space, number one, in your computer. It takes up space on your website. You don't want to do that. You want to just use pictures as you need them. I know there's some people's like, oh, this would be a good picture. Let me, you know, put it in my website, put it in my media library. No, what you need to do is create folders, either in your Dropbox or in your pictures folder on your computer. That's where you save pictures to use later. But you always want to make sure, that's why I always say whenever I'm creating a new page, I always have 2 tabs of my site up. One of them I use for research, the other one I use for creating in. That way, if I was like, okay, when I get to my pictures, I pull up my media library and I look and say, do I have a picture, an image that I can use already? If I do, then I just tell it to import it from media library. If I don't see one I want to use, or I've created one specifically for that, then that's when I tell it to go and upload one. Okay. No, you can always use the picture more than once. I'm just saying don't download it twice from the original source. So if you went to Google, or even if you have it in your image folder, like in my Dropbox, if I go to my images in Dropbox or my logos and I was like, oh, I need to use a coffee logo, and I pull up my coffee logos and I pull this image out and use it again, then, you know, that's fine. I can do that, but I'm going to have 2 of these images because I know I've already used it. So I want to make sure I just go through and say, okay, I got this picture already in my folder. I'll just click on it and use it from here instead of downloading it again. Because then I end up with duplicates of the same image. Same thing with this one. I had this one in here like 6 times because I've used it in several different places. So I went back through and deleted it so that I only had one. Well, then I had empty spaces on my other pages because I uploaded that one several different times. So that's the only thing I'm saying. Yes. So if you've downloaded the image several different times to use in a picture, don't go back in and delete it out of your media library, or it's going to delete it from wherever you assigned it in that particular page. So I know it sounds confusing, but just remember, if you've downloaded a picture for a specific page, it's been assigned a new home number. So when you come in and delete duplicates, you've deleted that image from a particular page, not just your media library. So every image in your media library is assigned a page. So just remember, if you have duplicates and you come in and remove duplicates, you're removing that image off that page that picture's been assigned to. So that's why I always say, you know, if you have a picture already, then use it and reuse the same picture if you can. Then that way, if you remove that picture, then you know you removed it everywhere. If you have multiple pictures in here and you've used them and downloaded them multiple times, you have no way of knowing which picture went to which page until after you've deleted it and pull up those pages and see that blank screen, that blank block. I'm just saying, if you got pictures in here, don't delete them because you're really going to have a headache on your hands. Yeah. Excuse me? All right, please mute when you come in unless you have a question, because I don't know if you're asking me a question. You're fine. But yeah, so these images, I don't remove them. like this one for Soap Creek, I'm getting ready to redo this page. So the images I'm eventually going to remove. Same thing with the Canada. This was all for DC. So when I go back in and redo these pages, then I will come in and delete these images that, you know, because we don't have those products anymore. But I won't delete them until after I've removed them from the page. So that's one of the things. Same thing with the wines that I have. Those of you that are advertising, now is the time to start advertising your holiday events, your holiday pages. So like your Halloween stuff, get them out there. Go ahead and do your Thanksgiving. Go ahead and start your Christmas advertising now. Don't wait until before. Like I was telling a student yesterday, you know, about his wines, go ahead and start advertising your wine, because if there's an influx of people ordering wine, there's going to be back shipment, and people don't want to wait till, you know, be here the week of Christmas and their orders on back ship because they ordered it the day of or the week of. So go ahead and do that. Same thing with your Valentis. Don't wait until the month of December to start advertising for them to lose weight for New Year's. Do that now. Say, hey, we're going to actually get the party this year for New Year's. Let's get that weight off that COVID put on. You know, use COVID for something positive. You know, let it help you make some money. You know, here it is. You know, get rid of those COVID pounds from sitting on the couch or working from home. You know, get the thermoperk out there, get the coffee, the hot chocolate. It's going to be cold, so get those hot drinks out there. Also, it's cold and flu season. Get the immune boost out there. You know, get those products out there now. Get your pages out there now for these products and get the advertising up. Let's see what we got in chat. No, don't delete anything, Mike. Don't delete anything. Leave it as is, just going forward. Don't change. Don't download duplicate pictures. If you already have it in there, then just use the pictures that you have if you can. If it's not something you want to use, then that's when you go and get a new picture. But yeah, don't go in and delete anything. If you have duplicates, just leave them in there. You're fine for right now. Just, I know there's some people that go in, there's like, oh, I got a duplicate, I want to remove it. Just don't. So don't worry about your images now, just going forward. If you have a picture you want to use again, just use it from your media library. Don't keep adding it to your media library. It's already in there. Once you use an image once, it's stored in your library forever until you physically remove it. So that's one of the things that people are not familiar with their website, is once you use an image in your website, whether you copy it over or download, it stays in your media library until you remove it. Then when you remove it from your media library, it removes it from your whole website. So before you go in and actually download stuff, go ahead and go through your media library and make sure you don't have that image or have a similar image. Or if you just like, well, hey, I want to use a different one, then by all means, go ahead and get a different one. But don't go and mess with your site now. If you've done that previously, you're fine. Just leave it in there. Just from going forward, remember that rule. Nope. You are fine. So, but just remember, that's why I always say, but when you're creating a pages, images should be the last thing you should worry about. That's what we call prettying up your site. You should have your key phrase that you're going to write around. You should have your title. You should have your content. Then you can do your links. Then you do your images. Your images pretty up your site. And the reason we say images last, you know, when Roy does it, he already knows where he's going to put an image because he already has it in his head how he wants it laid out. Sometimes I do too, because I already have the way I want it to write, so I know where an image goes. But for the most part, people just want to get the content down. Then you can see what you've written and where an image would best be suited to use. Then you don't have images all over the place, you know, and then they're not related to the actual wording that you have. So you kind of want your images to relate to what your words say. And then that's when you can go in after that, and then you also link your images. One of the things Paul was talking about and Rory was talking about today, again, your page is indexed by your key phrase. So are your images. But you do have some images that you can relate to an additional key phrase. Like if you go and look at some of my pages, when I'm referencing or cross-marketing, that image goes to the cross-market product. So if I'm talking about weight loss, you know, and I've got all my images pertaining to weight loss going to Valentis. But then at the bottom, if I'm telling them to celebrate their new weight loss with a glass of Chardonnay, I got them going to my wine page, or got them going to my wine ambassador club. Or if I'm telling them to go and get a new wardrobe, then I'm sending them to my clothing store, or my key phrase will be women's clothing on the image. So you can have different alternative key phrases, but you don't want to have too many. So if you're cross-marketing a product on a page, then it's okay to have that key phrase different from your cross-market. So if you have a picture of wine, then yeah, put them the Ricard Merlot or the More Than Muse or the Ashley Chardonnay. Is it Chardonnay? No. Yes. I can't remember what, but whatever it is. You can mark it that way. And it will tell you that if you use it too many times. So whenever you go to your SEO and it tells you that you've used your alternate attribute has too many key phrases, that's where you go back in and say, okay, I'm going to use this to a cross market because I am cross marketing. But like Paul said, you don't want to have an image of a pizza and then you're sending them to wine. That's false advertising. So that's one of the things you want to make sure that the images that you are using references to actually relate to what you're saying it's about. So you don't want to have a pizza picture and it's going to wine, or have a wine picture and it's going to a vacation resort. So make sure that they do have some type of relativity to it, or you could, you know, potentially get banned from Google or not get Google AdSense because you're sending them a false lead. Okay, so let's see.
Hi, Sheila.
Hey, how are you?
I'm here.
Good.
I just finished with Paul.
Yep, good. Oh, they got finished early.
Yeah.
Editing of videos, there are some free programs out there. I use, what is mine called? You have the AVS video editor. I have that one, but if you don't pay for it, it will have their logo on it. So, but there is a free version on there. There's an OBS video suite that's out there that has a free version. You can use it as well. You just have to play around with them. I don't know if you have a video editor with your software on your computer. Some computers do. You might want to try that and see if you can go in there and edit the information. You can probably put it in Canva. Well, I know the video part of Canva is part of the upgrade, but I mean, it just depends. They might have like a free trial period that you can go in and sign up for the trial version and just, you know, opt out of it before the 30 days are up. That allows you to rotate video. But as far as getting the where she panned away from what you were doing, unless you have the upgraded versions of any of these programs, you're not going to be able to do that because you're going to have to splice and resplice the actual footage, if that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I uploaded it anyhow just to see how it would look, and it's there, but it's sideways.
Yeah, usually if you go into it might be Paint or it's either Paint or Paint Editor. Sometimes you can go there and tell it to rotate the image. I think maybe even on if you are the administrator on YouTube you can tell it to go in and rotate your image and save it from there and then upload it. So you might want to try that.
Okay.
And see, just play around with it a little bit.
Okay.
But depending on your program, I think it is Paint in there, and just, you know, tell it, rotate it.
Yeah, I don't know if I have Paint. I think just have Windows and whatnot.
Yeah, if you go, because if you have Windows, you go up here to your search and type in the word Paint, because I think Paint comes with everybody with Windows, and just and seeing it'll have Paint or Paint 3D. I think the Paint 3D is the one where you can do the video. And then just go to Paint and then just import it from wherever you have it, if it will allow you. And then there is a rotate option on there where you can rotate it.
Okay, I'll try.
So try that. And then once you do that, then save it. Make sure you name it so you know what it is. And then that's the one that you upload, and it should be corrected.
Okay, good.
If it allows you to do that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. Okay. Any more questions? We got that video point gone over. Anybody, anything else somebody wants to go over? Question time. What are you looking for?
What did you cover, Sheila? I missed the whole.
A color picture.
Trello. Okay.
Emilio, you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm hearing an echo, so that's why I said so what do you want me to show you?
Okay. I got Rory sent me for the Dropbox. I think they're like the memes, like 4 or 6 of them.
Yep.
How do I download them?
Okay, so if you have the memes, all you're going to do is open up that Dropbox, that link. He sent you the link. You're going to open it up, and then you're just going to click on each link and hit Save As. And then you're going to save it to either your folder that you've created in your Dropbox or on your picture folder.
Okay, because I seem to have everything scattered all over the place.
Yeah. All right, so when we get together, when we get finished, send me some times that you're available this week, and we'll get together and get your folders. Yeah, you got a lot of folders we need to organize, and we'll get that organized.
Okay. Also, I'm going to ask you, how close do you think I am to getting Google AdSense?
You need to do some more advertising, and there's a couple more pages you need to tweak a little bit. We'll go over that too.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're not too far.
Okay.
Right.
On the one of my daughters is she's considering coming in with me. Is there I think I heard Rory mentioned something about friends and family program.
Yes, if you have anybody in your family, you just let me know. I'll put them on the friends and family once they pay for it. We'll send them the link, and they'll be on there, and they'll get a website for the $28.95.
$28.95?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I have to put them on the tech board for Matt to know that they are coming in under the Friends and Family program, so they don't get charged the whole fee. And then it'll be just like yours. Every quarter, they will get charged the $28.95 maintenance. Okay.
One more thing, and then I'll let you go.
Okay, you're fine.
One of my daughters is a medical lab technician.
Mm-hmm.
And she started checking the ingredients on the brain. And she said one of them might give me some problems because I have a AFib. One of my heart valves kind of fibrillates.
Yep. Is it the niacin?
No, let me see. Hold on. She gave it to me.
Because most people that are taking medications for heart, it's usually the niacin. They get a niacin overload.
Beta-phenylet, hylamine, HCl.
Acetaminophen?
It's spelled BETA -PHENYLET.
Okay. So what you need to do is ask your doctor how it will affect you, because Tanya, she has some medications that it interferes with. So what she does is takes half a dose. She tried the whole one and it really made her wonky. So she does a half, and she's building up her immune system, but always check with your doctor. That's why the ingredients are there, and just ask them how that would affect you, if it will be a real negative.
Because she said that this makes the heart beat much faster.
Yep. So you probably wouldn't be able to have a full dose. So what I would do is just check with your doctor. Maybe do like Tanya, try a half a dose, see how it affects you, and just build your immune system up. I actually put mine, I collect shot glasses too. So I actually pour mine in a shot glass. It's only 15 milliliters. And then you can dose it out. If you have like a medicine cup that has the measurements on it, do the same thing. Just squeeze it into that. You see what your milliliters are, and then you can adjust it that way. If you have an old one that you've used for your blue scorpion, you can do the same thing. You can use pour that into there, use the little vial, and just take a couple of shots just to see how it's going to affect you. But always get with your doctor if you think there's anything in there that's going to interfere with any medical issues or medications that you're taking.
Okay.
All right.
It's mainly the blood thinners.
Yeah. That's why I said the niacin. Yeah, the niacin, and then beta blockers. Same thing with the blue scorpions. There's certain medications that it affects. So you just have to see what your immunity is and get with your doctors to see how that would affect it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else? Yeah.
I got a question.
Okay.
When you're clicking on the tab to open up to a new page and bring it back to your page, is it okay to do that for every one of them?
Yes. It's totally up to you how you want to do it.
So I want to make sure they come back. I don't want to lose them by not clicking on that. So yeah, I've been doing it on all of them. I thought, well, is that wrong?
No. See, a lot of people, they do the internal links. They don't open it in a new tab, because if you have a lot of different internal links in your page, then they're going to have a lot of different tabs open. I don't use a whole lot of internal links in a page. I only try to use one or two, but I open my internal links in a new tab, because somebody might see something that they like, and then they'll click that link and it'll not open in a new page, and it's like, well, I didn't read it. Where do I go? When they're lost because they can't remember what they searched, what they clicked on to get to where they were at. So then they end up leaving altogether. So again,
I remember you saying that. Yeah. That's why I've been doing it. Return back to
so
this page.
Again, it's your preference. Rory teaches no. Paul teaches like me. It depends on you. But again, just remember, this is your website. You can do what you want to, as long as you follow the basic guidelines. Don't change your URL. Don't change your password. Try to keep each page to a minimum of, 3 to 4 pages, pictures, depending on your content. If you have less than 500 words, you only need 1 to maybe 2 pictures. You want each page to be a minimum of 500 words if you can. Google likes more content. So I've been telling my students, 700. Paul's been telling his, if you can get them to 700. That doesn't mean every page has to be that many or that wordy, but you want to make sure you have good relevant content. I have people that, send me their sites and says Google tells them they don't have relevant content, or they don't have, content that is out there people are looking for. And then when I go and look at their sites, every page that they have is less than 500 pages or 500 words. They have a few pages that might be 700 or 800. To Google, that's like you're doing an ad. You're doing the bare minimums. The bare minimums of Google is 350. Okay. You don't want your website to be bare minimums. You want your website to be content full, so that people come to it and say, not only are they getting an education or getting a valued opinion, they're also getting a valued product, because either you are telling them about something new, you're giving them experience of how it's affected you, you're giving them research on what the product actually does, how long it's been around, you're giving them some clinical information, or you're just giving them basic information that they can use and be like, oh yeah, this is great for me. I can, you know, relate to this. You're giving them personal insight into you, your beliefs. So if you're talking that way, you should be able to talk more than 350 words. So especially if it's something you're interested in. Like with me and wine, you know, that's not something I drink. Everybody knows I don't drink wine. You know, I just don't. It's not a religious thing. It's never appealed to me. I might have to break down eventually, especially if I go see Rory again. I'm going to have to drink something. So it's inevitable. But, you know, I can't talk about how wine tastes because I really don't know. And I don't want my ignorance to turn somebody off. But now I can tell you about the processes of wine. I can tell you about the makeup of wine. I can tell you about wine countries. I can tell you about how to pair wines with foods. I can tell you how to do a wine social. I can tell you all kind of things about wine. I can tell you the health benefits of wine. But I don't have to tell you about how wine tastes, because even if I have a preference of how a wine tastes, your palate is not the same as mine. So if I say a wine tastes dry or salty, or, you know, I taste an apple or whatever in the flavor, you will taste it and it might be completely different because your taste preference is different. So again, everything's based on your own preferences and your own ability to let people know and give them information. So you shouldn't have a page on your system less than 350 words. You shouldn't have a page on your system less than 500. If you are comfortable in your writing and you do the research and you write from your heart and you write from other people's experiences and incorporate that into your own words, you shouldn't have a page less than 500 words. And then if you do, you know, then it's probably something that you maybe need to do more research on. Okay.
Hey, Sheila.
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Yeah,
We got meetinged out.
Yeah, yeah. I see Paul had a short class today, so well, me and him's got to get together this week too. We're working on a project, so I might be getting a call from him later today too. So yeah, it's going to be a busy week. So
Yep.
But,
Always is.
anybody got any questions? Anything else you want me to go over? Today we're doing basically a Q&A, going over some things that people are asking specifically. So have at it. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Just, you know, ask away.
Do I call you or do I text you?
Put it in our Skype chat, in our personal Skype chat.
Okay.
Yeah. My phone's about to blow up. Is just, yeah. So put it in Skype chat.
Okay.
Hi, Sheila.
Hey, darling, how are you?
I'm good, sweetheart. How you and the daughter and grandchild doing?
Good. I'm actually at my house right now. I'll actually be home for a while. She's with her grandparents. It's my father-in-law's birthday, so she's there with them, and I'll go by and get her probably Wednesday morning.
Oh, good.
Because Eli has ball games the next 4 days, so it's like I'm not driving back and forth from Raleigh for 4 days. That's a 3-hour drive one way.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, God, no.
So I said, I'm going to stay home. I slept like a baby last night because I was in my own bed. You know, don't get me wrong, my daughter has some nice mattresses, but it just feels different when you're home.
Yep,
You know?
Yep, nothing like home.
This is a difference. When my husband, the first thing he said, because he had ball games last night, and he said, well, when we get up in the morning, we're going to go to the grocery store. I was like, no, Eli's got a game in the morning. So that's where he just left. I gave him a list of stuff. He said, I'm tired of eating out. Can you cook?
Oh, they'll appreciate you.
Yeah. So I was like, sure, we'll cook. I said, you cook some stuff. So, yes, babe.
Okay. Do you remember when we went to Dallas last year
Mm-hmm.
and Rory passed out the
The handbook.
handbook?
Uh-huh.
Can I still use this as
Yeah,
a
the
guide or
handbook
what?
still has some great information in it that you can use. It still has some general guidelines in there.
But it's been modified, right?
They haven't modified it. I don't think they've modified the handbook. Anything
Okay.
that pertains to direct sellers in there, just use Wine Ambassador. But as far as our goals and what we're setting out to do, it should still be basically the same.
Okay.
Yep.
And the protocol?
I can't remember what the protocol was.
The program protocols, the list for everything.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's different is Velvelita is number 2, Valentis is second, Sephora is 4th, Tipping Circle 5th until Tipping Circle gets straightened out, and then we'll probably move Tipping Circle above Sephora.
Okay.
And then what we call our category 2s, which is, you know, the CJ, the ClickBank, the Bitcoin, all the cryptocurrencies, those are be in your number 2 groups.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything anybody wants me to show them?
Show me the money.
Show me the list. That list that you guys just said. I wasn't quick enough to grab my pen and write it down. You guys talk too fast for me to write it down.
Okay. Those of you that are my personal students, you should have this link for the new student information sheet. And on that, it has, I just updated it. It has all my personal links that you have references to. And then up underneath the wine, it has the pages that you need to edit for your wine. I just incorporated the yeah, that one. I keep want to say Velveeta. They started it, Velveeta.
Velovita.
Velovita, yeah. Beloved. Ida.
That one.
Yeah, that one. So the link here is going to be Brain, whatever your link is /Brain, or however you want to do it. It's going to be on the 1F16 page that you can get if you don't have one, or you can come to my page. I've had several different ones relating to that. Then your coffee pages, here's all the links for your coffee pages. This is what we did today. I actually put that link in there for perk. You're going to need to create a page just for the summer perk. And then, like I said, don't forget to that. And then I'm actually going to go in here and update this to the phase 2, which will be your all the other pages that you will need to do. This is something me and Paul's going to be working on. Once we get it finished, you'll be able to go in and see step by step what you need to do. You'll be able to check off as you go through your pages to make sure that you are following on task. We do have
what I need is something I can check off as I get it done.
You should have a roadmap, because we did have one previously that was called the roadmap that's on there. That one you can continue to use until we get an updated version of it. If you don't have it, let me know. Let's see, I think we have, hold up a minute. I'm gonna put this in the chat. I got a bunch of stuff I got a lot of stuff that goes on. I'm gonna put this in the chat. This is the current roadmap. For those that don't have it, it's a step-by-step of how you should be progressing in your PBS. We're updating that currently so that you'll be able to have a more concise, easy to follow process. But there's the current one that we have for now. Okay, so just go in the chat, copy that link, and save it somewhere. We will have a different link once we get everything worked out. But those of you that are in my personal students, you should have this link. If not, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Okay. If you're not in my group, don't use the reference links. Make sure you use your instructor links. If you are in my group and my personal students, those are all your referral links that you need for what we have so far, where you need to get and use them, get your own links to put in the pages that's there. So what we're going to be doing is showing you what links go to what page eventually. So
what am I considered? This is a little bit. What am I considered? I've been sent here, but
oh, so you're here for training and just follow up, but you still will go for any referral links to your instructor.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. But you can use any information that I post as a reference guide, but if it has a link to it, always go to your instructor for personal reference links.
Okay, so I can copy this link, but not your link. Got it.
Yeah, you can still use that. Just where it says, sign up here, don't. You go to your instructor for that. But it has like the meetings, for our Monday night wine call. It has the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday calls. It has on Saturday calls. It has, I think it has Paul's and Rory's training videos on there. So it's a good point of reference. It has my YouTube link on there. So it has a bunch of reference material that you can still use.
Right.
Yes. Anything that has, if you need a reference or if you need to join, always go to your instructor for that. But anything else on there is good to use just for reference material.
I'm still having problems posting the ads. And it came to me that I'm specializing in a special group, on the religious side. And therefore, it's like with that means that he came up with the wine today with the sexy lady and all. And I'm saying, what am I going to do with that? Because that's kind of
but that's where you would go outside your group, and especially if you're in the wine program. And just because you have them, you don't have to use them. That's why you can go to Canva. Canva has a great program, and it's free, that you can go in and create your own memes. And I do that all the time. I absolutely love Canva. Because I'm like you, there's just stuff. It's good for the mass media, but when you're centralizing a specific group, some things just don't work with that. Like this is one I created this week, for Wine and Dine show, but I geared it towards Halloween. This is a vampire. He's got, blood off his lip, but he's got a glass of red wine. I couldn't post this in my religious group. I couldn't post this in my women's group. It just wouldn't work. But now I can come here and post this one. It's just very clean cut. It's showing wine with label on it, letting them know. Same thing with this one. This is my brain that I created. I can post this anywhere. It's very clean. It's going to relate to a bunch of people. I also know by using this graphic, it's going to relate more to my geek and nerdy group that I'm in. And we actually have a group that's called the Geeks and Nerds. So
I'd probably be good in a group like that because I feel like a real geek or nerd.
So I actually know, and I put this in there, and because we can relate to this. Oh, that's computer. Just by looking at this, even if it wasn't a brain, they would know, oh, that's a computer diagram. I can relate to that. That's showing me circuits and how information flows. And you got a very thin laptop, okay? Then you got a man in a business suit. So it relates. This is something I put on LinkedIn. It relates to the business professional person. So, and I created all these in Canva. The images came from Canva. Actually got this image off of Google and created this. Same thing with here, this little walk thing right here. You just images. You can, same thing with this computer right here. It's just another image I shrunk to put beside my website name to draw attention to it. I actually need to go and fix this. Okay, no, I don't. That's the ID number to get in. Okay. So again, here's another one that I can put in my women's group that I went in. I have for working moms at home that I'm in. I put this in there and they approved it immediately because there's nothing that really is showing advertising, even though it has my link here. So, and again, here's another one I did for Halloween, for the one dime. It's just got this lady in red. She's very sexy looking. My daughter said it looks like she's pee. I said, well, that's not what I wanted to present. But again, you know, it's like, you know, want to party with the night crowd. You are invited if you dare. And so here she is with a glass of red wine. You know, it's a very mysterious setting, 2 empty chairs, but it's to invite to the wine and dine show. And here's my little logo that I have with my
I have something
wine
to
page.
add.
Huh?
I have something to ask about Google AdSense. When you get Google AdSense, they send advertisements to your page according to the things that you seem to focus on.
No, this is how Google AdSense works. Google AdSense, once you get approved for them, you can put their code in, and then you can do like Paul does. You can have very finite ads that you want to show on your site, or you can let Google choose. I let Google choose, but I have the placement of where I want those ads to be. I like them on the top of my page, up in the header. I got it set on the side as a widget, and then they can place it within my page. And the way Google AdSense works is if you don't have a specific ad that you want to show up, they choose the ads based on the logarithms of the computer your website shows up on. So say like my son who's been house hunting, and he pulls up one of my pages on my website, because I have furniture on my website. He pulls it up and says, okay, Mom, I'm gonna look at your page and, you know, look at your furniture and see what you got. Based on what he's been searching on his computer, those ads will be geared towards his previous searches. So if he's been searching for loans, if he's been searching for home mortgages, if he's been searching for real estate property, if he's been searching for, you know, furniture, cars, whatever he's been searching for, those images will show up on that Google ad.
Right. And Facebook is doing somewhat the same thing. I noticed Facebook is sending me a lot of things in the area of my special interest, you know, which is the Christian Jew community. And it's really very interesting because the hits that I'm getting on there is crazy, you know. So
and that's what they do. They base, and it all is, Paul went over some Facebook marketing too on Thursday. So even in Facebook, when you join groups or even post things on your Facebook page and you get responses, when you start replying to those responses, then Facebook looks at it and says, okay, everything's assigned a code, you know, whether you want to or not, you are assigned a code. So the minute you start replying to these people, you know, start engaging in conversation, Facebook picks that up and says, okay, where else are these people got something else in common? So that's where you're starting to get this information. Okay, well, this person's part of this group. You might be interested in this group because they have commonality to it. Or you are friends with this person, or you engage with this person. Here's another person that they are in, have the same interest. You may be interested in connecting with them too. So that's how you develop your network on Facebook. It's not just random people that come through. It's people that have engaged with someone that you've already engaged with that has a commonality. Now, that's not to say that you're going to come up with these people that just say, hey, I want to be your friend. I get them all the time. They're mostly men. And the way you can get away from that is always look under where it says mutual contacts. If they don't have at least 5 mutual contacts, I'll leave them alone. Because it's like, I don't know who you are, you know, and then if I pull up their mutual contacts and it's still people I'm not familiar with, I still don't join them. But if it's a couple of people, it's like, oh yeah, I know them. I've talked with them on Facebook. I know who they are. I know what groups they are in. Then yeah, that's a pretty safe person to communicate with, to be, you know, friends with. And then if they start doing stupid stuff and sending you crazy things, it's easy to unfriend them. You know, just block it. But for
But you don't want to get married again, Sheila?
my husband is perfect.
You had somebody ask you to marry them, right?
I get at least one a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can tell. You can pick that up. But they want me to boost some of the pages that I've written. The pages, not the
Yeah.
boot. My blogging. There are some blogging pages that's picking up a lot of traffic on Facebook, and they want me to boost those.
Now the boosting, I'm gonna tell you, boosting is good, but you have to watch it, because if you don't, it can rack up a lot of money. Because you have to pay to boost an ad or
Right.
boost the page that you do. You don't have to. If it's already gaining traffic, that's great. But if you boost it, then you need to go in and make sure you set the appropriate parameters. Tell it you only want it to boost for 30 days and you're only spending X amount of dollars. And once it hits that dollar threshold, it's over.
Right.
If you don't, because I made the mistake one time before when I first started, I boosted and I kept getting these $20, $30 charges, and then I wouldn't see anything. And I was like, what is that money coming out for? Oh, yeah, that's my Facebook. As long as it was that, it was fine. But then once it started picking up, I was getting like $200, $400 charge. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, there goes all my commissions.
Yeah.
So your boost is related on, number one, how much money you set first. But if you have an ongoing boost, then it's related on how many people it's reaching. So the more people it's reaching, the more dollars it's going to charge you. So you can go in and
they reach, the more it's going to cost you.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So that's why I said you go in and set it up as a specific amount of time and X amount of dollars you want to spend on it, and then make sure you set yourself a date to go in and stop it, and cancel it or halt it once it reaches that threshold. If not, it'll continue to run.
Yeah. Well, I took Paul's advice. He taught on that at one time, and somebody came on and said it cost him over $600. You know, and they advised against it. Well,
again, when you go in there and boost, you set your own parameters. If you don't set a parameter, they will set it for you. They will just post it everywhere. And then next thing you know, you got a bill, because it's automatically billed. You have to set up your billing, and they bill it. Just like right now, I have a paid ad on Google. And I got my bill, like I said, it starts out real small because, you know, you don't have a lot of people hitting it. But once it starts building traffic, I had a $300 bill hit my account this weekend, and I'm going, where did that come from? And I pulled it up, and I was like, Google Ads. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, how did the Google Ads? I thought you earned money with Google Ads.
You do, but what you do, that's Google AdSense. But once you get Google AdSense, you have all these other opportunities that you can do. I actually have a Google site, a Google homepage. So you know how when you go and search something, you get this big block over on the side, like Wikipedia. So if I go in here and hit shop with Mama Chief,
shop with Mama Chief. Yep,
that's me. Sometimes, like right here, here's all of my images. This is my YouTube channel. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay.
Wow. You're all over the place.
I am, isn't it something? Wow. Let's see. But sometimes when I go to shop with Mama Chief, so if I go, depending on how I write it. So, see right here, here's my online Google store. All right, so if I go here to the website, it should pull up my website, but this one might pull up my Google site. So once you get Google, then you get a Google website. But this is actually my site that I have it rerouted to. So then once you get Google site and you images, I can go in there and post stuff. So let me see if I have it here. Yep, here's my Google business page because I have Google AdSense. And I think I got it listed under here. Yeah. So here's Google My Business.
Uh-huh.
So if I go to post, these are all my posts, and it works just like Facebook, but I can go in and boost these, and I have a couple that I've boosted, and you can actually go in and do paid advertisements. So when you go into Google searches and you search for that and you see where it says AD, that means it's a paid ad. I actually have one of these out there, and it's picking up traffic. But again, you have to make sure that you have the financial means to do that. So when it picks up traffic, they don't tell you it's picking up traffic. You just get the bill and you see that it went from $20 to $300, and it's like, then you know it's picked up traffic. So now I have to go in and determine whether or not I'm going to set some parameters on that traffic to keep my cost down so that my cost is not exceeding
Your
what
profit.
my commissions are. My profit. I don't want it to eat into my profit.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing you have to set. So that's why I said it's not a bad thing to do for, you know, a short period of time to get some recognition out, especially if you're getting ready to apply for Google AdSense. But again, you don't want to eat up your finances because you didn't set the parameters and didn't keep an eye on it. So, and you also want to make sure that if you're boosting something, that you already have good traffic coming to it. But again, if you are just getting started and you're trying to apply for Google AdSense, you know, you might want to go out there and boost it for 10 days. You can set it for 10 days and say, okay, I'm going to spend $100, you know, or maybe $50, and I'm going to boost my site for 10 days and see how much traffic I can get.
Yeah, they're
You can do that too.
They're offering 5 days for $10.
Yeah, so you can do, you know, those are the good things you can do, and just make sure that you stay on that, hey, I got my 5 days or my 10 days, my $5 is up, I'm done with it. If you don't go in and stop it, they'll keep doing it if you don't go in there and quit it. So, but that's a good way to get exposure, because then not only will your site or your ad go to people that are already in your newsfeed in your friends and families group, but it will go viral on Facebook until you hit whatever that quota is you set up, and then they'll charge you for it. So.
Well, my advantage is the articles, some that I have, I post to the different prayer groups, because that's what I do. I write prayer articles and things like that and post it to those different groups, and the different ministry respond to that article, thousands no less.
Yep.
And it's really interesting. I said, wow, you know, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm slow and moving forward with it, you know?
That's yeah, you keep doing what you're doing. So if you're getting that type of feedback from there, especially if they're sharing it, you don't know who else they're sharing it with that's getting great feedback. That's where you go in and do comments. You know, hey, if you like this, I have some more that you could be interested in, and then put your link to your next article that you've written that's along that same genre. What it's doing is it's not only creating traffic and exposure to you, but by you creating those links and putting those articles in your website, it's creating exposure to your website. So once they click that article, they're looking and it's like, oh, she's got more things. That's why that category menu is so important. But then they can look and say, okay, she's got stuff in there for travel. I'm getting ready to plan a vacation. Click on your travel and see what you have for travel. That's where your Sephora comes in. That's where your Excel trip comes in. Even your clothing, you know, like with me, I have my promotional, seasonal and promotional. So if I get them in there for Christmas shopping or Halloween, then it's like, okay, let me see what else she's got. Christmas is around the corner. Thanksgiving's around the corner. You know, birthdays, anniversaries, they can see that. You know, weddings, I have a site just for weddings where they can go in and get rings, they can get party supplies, they can even get dresses and stuff like that. So once they are in your site, then they can shop. They see that you have other things to offer. And that's why your category menu is so important, because those list the main things you want people to be aware of in your site. So you've got your door open, or your store is open, you've got traffic coming to it. Now it's just a matter of making sure you have relevant content that they want to see. Don't just single it out because, you know, well, this is my religious group, this is my church group, they may not want to see that. Well, you never know. You might have somebody in there that, you know, they might need something in there, and it's like,
Inspirational,
well, you know,
that
it's
kind of way.
there.
Yeah.
I always tell people, yes, you concentrate on what you're passionate about, but don't leave out the rest of the world, because the rest
Right,
of the world is
right,
going to need things
right.
too.
Well,
That's just stuff that you don't, you know, don't have to put out there sometime,
right,
you know.
right, right.
Like I said, I have one student, she's very adamant of not putting lingerie out there. She's like, well, that's personal. People don't need to be seeing boobs and butts everywhere, you know.
Right. I'm pretty
Which
much
is,
the same way.
yeah, which is fine, but that doesn't mean that there's not somebody that needs it. You know, I have a site up there for people that have, you know, very risque lifestyles, because they're sending me money to advertise it. I don't advertise it. I don't go out there and say, hey, you into whips and chains, I got what you need, you know. But if somebody comes into my couples only section, they can find it. There it is, you know, relationships, and then it's got couples only. They can go in there and find, hey, is this is what you're into. There it is. I don't advertise it. It's not, you can't go out there and find an ad for it. But I do have an ad, hey, couples only, come see what you're into, you know, and then they can come and see it. I have pictures posted out there or anything like that that is risque. It's, you know, couples only. So you can advertise discreetly for things that you feel people may not say, oh, I didn't know she was into that. Well, I'm not into that, but there are people out there that are. That doesn't mean that you can't cater to those people. You just don't blast it out in front of everybody else.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just interesting. I have the 7 mountains that these are the 7 categories I deal with, and it covers the world, which is really interesting because it covers every aspect of the way in which we live, but I give a spiritual point of view.
Exactly.
Which is very interesting because they may see something else, but they'll get the spiritual point of view. Plus the keyword that I looked up to for my pages, I looked up the keywords, and in the Bible is a key phrase that gets over 3,300 hits a day.
A day, exactly. And by you having that and being exposed on social media like that, do other platforms. Make sure that you are also on like Instagram. Instagram's a great place, great feedback, and they don't have the restrictions Facebook has. You can actually post your link straight into your post on Instagram. The only flaw to Instagram is that it's strictly phone related. So if you have images, you have to.
I tried it and I came out of it. I couldn't take it, but you said it.
Yeah.
It was a bit strong for me. It really was.
Yeah, it's and it has no filters. I mean, it doesn't have groups that you are part of. But the thing about it is, Instagram is the perfect place to use hashtags. Facebook is not. I mean, it's still a good place to use hashtags. Instagram is the best place, the perfect place to use hashtags. Because then people will follow your hashtag. So if you have a post there on your religious program, you know, and your group, hashtag your name. Like with mine Shop with Mama Chief. So I hashtag Shop with Mama Chief. Then you will develop a following because they're going to know, all right, let me click on this hashtag. They will see everything that you've posted with that hashtag. Now, if somebody else is using that hashtag, they'll see theirs too. So that's why you want to create your own exclusive hashtag and develop that following so that when people see you've posted something on Instagram and you've got your hashtag, they'll click on that hashtag. It's your hashtag, and they will see everything that you've done. Just you.
Okay. I'll have to get my great grandkids to show me how to use Instagram.
Yep. And just make sure, you know, because you should have a photo app on your phone. So if you have images on your computer that you want to use, especially if you're creating them on Canva and you want to use them in your Instagram, then you create a folder in your email and you email it to yourself, and then open the email on your computer and then tell it to copy your images to your photo file on your phone. And then whenever you go to Instagram, it automatically pops up your photo folder on your phone, and then there's all your pictures that you have available.
Wow. I got a lot to learn.
I gotta go, Sheila.
Okay, see you later.
Take care.
Okay.
But Instagram is a great place to build up a following using hashtags. Facebook is just getting there. Just remember what you want to do on Instagram, especially if you want to cater to a select group, or kind of weed out people that you may or may not want. Well, you want everybody coming to your website,
Right.
but people that you know specifically that you're not going to be catering to, then you just want to, create your own hashtags. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second, Velavita. But with your Instagram, if you create, like you said, you have the 7 ways, and you want to start, that would be a perfect series that you're creating each page for that, and then maybe even do a subtopic or sub-following on some of the other stuff in there. Then go on Instagram and create your own following and use your hashtag for your website, or even the hashtag for that meaning. You just got to make sure that that hashtag isn't taken. And sometimes when you start doing a hashtag, it'll show all the relevant names that's similar to what you're using. If you don't see it, then claim it. Just like we claim keywords, claim that hashtag and make it like with mine. There's nobody out there that's using Shop with Mama Cheese. That's my hashtag.
Right.
So everywhere I go now, even on Facebook, people click on that hashtag Shop with Mama Cheese. Everything that I've had out there is there. Even my family videos, all of my advertising, it's there for them to see. Please mute yourself if you're not asking questions. Same thing with Instagram. So now when they click on my hashtag Shop with Mama Chief, every Instagram post that I've had out there. I suppose you're ready to eat, are you? Hold on. Please mute yourself. Sure. Hold on. Then that shows up. They can see that. And that's what you want, is you want them to be able to follow you, so that whenever you click or whenever you post something, it automatically shows up to them and they can see, okay, let me see what she's done today. Yeah, what's she up to today in those 7 mountains? Exactly. And then you can do podcasts the same way. You can create podcasts just like you can do live streaming. I actually saw an article yesterday. Very interesting article that live feeds and live webinars and podcasts are gaining ground because people are tired of seeing repeat TV shows. So podcasts and live streaming videos are picking up ratings. And I saw one that they did an example on Facebook where a company had their employees do a live Facebook, and they were showing their product. Oh, we got this. You can't come to our store, but this is what we have available to you. And they were telling about the different products on it. And then they said, oh, if you need some of this, just go to the bottom, and there's a link there where you can go in and put in an order and we'll have it shipped to you. And I was like, that's amazing. They actually did an infomercial on a Facebook Live. And it's the same thing. And I was thinking, okay, what do I have at the house that I can do this? Okay, I got my thermal perk, I got my thermal roast, I got my Velveeta, I got, I'm sitting here going, and it's like just what they did, just pick it up. Oh, you need something, and a little, infomercial about each product that you have. It was about, I think it was like 8 minutes that they did it, and it was done, and they were getting thousands of hits on, and I was like, okay, an 8-minute video, and it went viral. It's going viral, and they were saying people doing podcasts the same way. Podcasts have been around for a long time. That's a good way to get out. And then at the end of the podcast, do a hashtag. Hey, hashtag whatever your phrase is, and they can hashtag it, and then they can physically see everything that you have out there. Gotcha. Sometimes you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah. To do it. Yeah, I've been this way all of my life. I worked in the world all my life, so I'm accustomed to the world system, and I have a way of approaching spiritually the world system. I worked in banking for 37 years, believe it or not, and we got along well. You do. You learn a lot when you get around people, the public. I tell people that all the time. I said, I've worked in the public my whole life. I mean, I started out when I was 13 instructing people how to skate at the skating rink. You know, I worked on a farm, so in the summertime I was in the field around people, you know, 2 or 3 times my age, because, you know, I was on a farm. You know, I worked in retail. When you work in retail, trust me, you come across everybody under the sun. You know, I went from being a floor associate manager, and then I went into, you know, nursing in the medical field, and then you see a whole different genre of people there. And then you go into corporate America, and then you see God knows what there in corporate America.
Very interesting place.
It's very, very controlling. And you see the good and bad sides of people in every market. And so you see that there's people out there that's hurting. You see that people are out there putting on a facade that, you know, hey, I'm living this way, but if you ever come to my house, you won't be able to get through the front door because I can't let you see exactly how I'm living. So you have that out there, and you get to see and be able to feel who's doing what. And that's why this website is so passionate to me, why I'm passionate about my website, because I can write based on how I know people are. Same thing it sounds like you're doing with your program.
Exactly.
You know the hurts that people have, you know the feels that they need, you know the connections they need to have. So you're catering that. And that helps people. Same thing with, and your website is the vehicle to get it out there. I always say, people are always talking about, well, get off your soapbox. My website's my soapbox, and nobody can tell me to get off of it. It's mine.
It's exciting. It really is.
It is. So you have your platform to do whatever you want to. Just remember, even though you're going to cater to certain groups, you still have a whole world out there that still needs it. And you're going to have those, what we used to call backseat Christians or backseat people that come into the door and sit in the back seat. They still need what you have, but they just don't have the.
Well, those are the ones I reach out to. The ones that, because it's not super spiritual. It's I did an article on this coming election, and it was really very interesting. I know Paul always says don't go into politics, but I have a way of getting into it that even Facebook publicizes it. Because you get into it in a way people can think and relate instead of feeling condemned. It's really exciting.
Exactly. Yeah. You're giving them an alternative way of looking at the world.
Exactly. Very interesting. But I know you're very.
How do I find that? I'd like to read that.
Huh? Oh, you
How
want?
do I find that? I'd like to read it.
Hi, Karen.
You can just go to my Facebook page, Lavette Silas.
Yeah, just post it in the student classroom. Are you in our student classroom?
I guess I'm supposed to be.
You should be. If not, so post it in the student classroom. I think everybody on here should be in the student classroom.
Okay. What website is that?
In our in the Skype chat, the student classroom in Skype. If you're not, you can post it here, chat.
I can put it in Skype.
Or you can put it here in the chat. That'll be fine too. And then they can go there and look at it.
I'm not really up to date with all this stuff.
Yeah, go to Skype and I can post it for you.
Okay, I'll paste it in Skype. It was very good. I was fascinated. You can have my granddaughter, 38 years old, listening to it, and she thought it was very well done. So yes, I will be more than happy to post it. It's very interesting. Yeah.
So any way you can get traffic and get exposure to your website, and you can financially do it, or even if it's free, I would say you go for it. It's your website. You know what you can and can't do financially.
Right. And financially, I'm building right now.
Yep.
I'm building. So, just one thing before I ask you before you leave me.
Go ahead.
The presentation I did last week with the brain, it was very good, but my granddaughter, I don't know what she did. I posted it on YouTube. I was wondering if it's we cut it down to 14 minutes, 33 seconds. If you could check it out, and although it's sideways, to see what you think about it. Is that possible? It's under my name. You put my name, Lavette Silas, in the search book, because I didn't title it. You put Lavette Silas in the search, and it'll come up.
Okay, I'll look at that and give you some see what I can do for it.
Yeah, as far as presentation, I mean, informational wise, as far as the presentation was concerned.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, I sure will.
Okay, and I will post that article about the upcoming election.
Gotcha.
in the
Yeah,
Skype
do that and that's why I always tell people, that's why we have these Skype chats. And I tell all of my students, whenever you create a page, put it in a Skype chat that you are and just say, hey, I've made a new page. Give me some feedback. Don't
Right.
take feedback negative, because you're asking people for feedback. And just remember, when you do that, they're not always in the same frame of mind you are. They're not always in the same place you are in life. So you're going to get a plethora of different opinions. Most are always going to be, you know, well, I wouldn't have said it that way, or you got some misspelling or things. As it's supposed to be, it's a way to better your page. It's not a reflection on you as a person, because they don't know you as a person. They're going strictly on what they see on that sheet. And use it. Also, the reason I tell people to do that is, number one, you are going to get some more feedback. It's a new set of eyes looking at it. You're also going to get traffic, because those people are going to click on your page to read it, whether or not they give you feedback or not. They're going to look at it. And number two, you might also encourage somebody else to write a page that they might feel a little skeptical about writing, that might feel it's too political, it's too graphic, it's too whatever reason it's keeping them writing. You might be the inspiration, for them to write that page that they have in their head that they really want to write but is afraid to. So and I know some people, well, I don't want everybody to read it. You have to. I always say, you know, you can be the inspiration for the next Rory. You might be the inspiration for the next Paul. You might be the inspiration for the next you. You might be the inspiration for our next president, our next governor, whatever. Just by you posting something that's going to be that trigger to get that person to do what they really feel they're supposed to do. You never know. I tell people, God's hand moves in ways we can't explain. And you might be God's hand, and by you not doing what you're supposed to do, you're restricting God's hand. And my grandma always said, if you don't use it, God's going to take it and give it to somebody else. So use it. If you feel like, well, I really need to post it, I'm afraid to post it anyway. Put it out there, because there's a reason you wrote that page. There's a reason you feel that conviction to do what you need to do. And put it on those sites, because, you know, put it on your Skype groups and say, hey, I just want some feedback. That's all you have to say. Because there, you know, like I said, it's getting traffic. You're getting more eyes on it so that you can see if there's something that's really missing. Plus, you might be the inspiration for the next person to write a page that they really want to write about.
Very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
You're very welcome.
Inspiration. Really helpful. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very welcome. All right, who next? Anything else we need to go over? I know somebody asked me to go over Pinterest. I don't use Pinterest, because to me, Pinterest is very confusing. But it is out there. There's actually a YouTube out there on how to use Pinterest. I suggest you just go to YouTube and type that in. I have a Pinterest account. I don't keep up with it. You just have to, it's just confusing to me. I just don't spend enough time in it to figure it out. There's a lot of people that use Pinterest. It is a great way. It's a great place to go, especially for people that do crafting and things like that, or join groups. Pinterest is a great place to go. I like more conventional things like the Instagram, the LinkedIn. That's very precise, pinpoint, and, you know, that's just me. I like clean cut. Pinterest is all over the place. But it is a good play go and market. So yeah, just go and use those YouTube videos on how to use Pinterest. You can actually go to Pinterest. I think they got some direction how to set up your different programs there with them, and market with it. So, but yeah, I'm just sorry, Pinterest is not my forte. I just don't do with it. But I do have an account. Every once in a while, I'll go in there and try to figure it out and play with it. But there's other social programs out there and other platforms that you can use that's a little bit more user-friendly than Pinterest. But if you have a Pinterest account, keep using it. Anything to get traffic to your site, then use it. Okay. Anybody else have anything else they want me to show? Any questions?
Hi, Sheila. I just wanted to say howdy to everybody. I got here late, but was real quiet. And
You're going through some stuff, Miss Susan. I've been praying for you for weeks.
Well, the procedure's the 13th.
Okay, let me write that down.
And that's why I kind of got way behind.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about
a lot of money.
Yeah, I understand. So, but we're going to be here. You know, we're not going anywhere. So you just jump on if it's nothing else, just to say, hey, we'll be here.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to have both help from you and Stacy to get back to where I need to be. Because some of it I don't know.
Yeah, we will. Just get. I know Stacy's finally getting settled. She's helping her brother. I think her brother-in-law moved this weekend. He's moving down to Texas. But you know,
great. Yeah, yep. I heard.
Yeah.
Some of the more Milwaukee people are moving.
They're getting out of that. They're getting out of that cold.
Yeah, and they're going far enough south. You guys rarely down there. They rarely get a freeze.
Yeah,
I can't believe how many Texans are on here.
Yep. We're growing. We're growing everywhere. So, but you just keep me informed, Miss Susan.
States.
Yeah, you can.
We are that large of a landmass.
You can house a bunch of people down there in Texas. So.
Yeah, most of Alaska is our largest state, but most of it's water.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have something they want me to go over? This is the perfect time. If you got any problems with your PBS you want to see how to fix, just chime in. We got about 10 more minutes. Anybody? Anything you want to see specifically or in particular?
Sheila, I have one.
Yeah.
On the hashtags again, like for example, if I'm doing my hashtag for my website, do I do spaces or?
No, it's all one thing. So if I go here, let's go here. If I go to my Facebook.
Okay, she's gone. Bye, Sheila.
Hey.
Okay.
So I'm going to come here to my book, and I'm going to create an article or create a post.
Okay.
And I'm going to just go.
I have to leave. I have company, Sheila.
Okay, darling. It'll be recorded.
Yeah.
You have a good one.
Yeah, and don't forget to check my YouTube for me, Lavette Silas.
I got it right here. I actually got stars all around it on my notepad.
Okay, it's sideways, but I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much. So long, folks. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye, dear.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
All right, and then right here, I'm going to put hashtag. And you see right here, it tells me right now, because mine's the only one that shows up, there's fewer than 1,000 posts, which I know are all of mine. There's mine. And then I'm just going to come down here and get me a picture. And I'm going to put a picture of my new tropics. And I think I'm going to do, I think I've already done that one. I'm going to do the one with the computer. This one. And then I'm going to post. All right, so there's my post. And then I'm going to come down here in my comments and put read. And then I'm going to come over here to my and I actually created a tiny URL to put here.
Okay.
And the reason I did that is like if Facebook gets they actually, one of them that I did with the new nanotechnology, they took it down because they said I couldn't use the word nanotechnology. So I created a tiny URL, and now I can use that.
Okay.
Pulls up like that. So now they can just click on here. So then if they come in and say, okay, you can't use that anymore, I can just go in and create a different tiny URL and for the same link. So now what they can do is they read my post, but now if they come click Shop with Mama Chief, they click on that, and then there's all of my links posted that I've hashtagged Shop with Mama Chief.
Okay, so my web page has the apostrophe. Do I leave that out?
You create it. It's however you create it. You create your own, however you want it, the hashtag to show up. I wouldn't put it because it's not going straight to your website. It's going to your Facebook post.
Okay.
So this isn't going to my website. It's going to my post on my Facebook, or it will go to all your posts on your Instagram or your LinkedIn or whatever. And then once they see those posts, then they can click on your links, your post that goes to your website.
Okay.
So on your, so on your Facebook, the hashtag itself is just going to everything that you've posted on Facebook that's related to that hashtag. So even if you've used hashtag red wine, hashtag fine wines, hashtag weight loss, then you're going to see everything that's used that hashtag, yours would be included in it. Same thing if anybody else clicked on hashtag weight loss, hashtag red wine, they'll see anything that's used that hashtag, but yours would be included in it because you've used that hashtag. So you can use common hashtags, but you can also create your own hashtag so that when people see it and they click on it, they will see any relevant material, but they'll definitely see anything that you've done.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
So even if I just put wine on there, then everybody in Facebook that has a wine page would come up?
Yep. Anybody that clicks on hashtag wine, they'll see anything that's on Facebook related to wine, including your hashtag that had wine in it. So if you created a post like with your wine box unboxing, and you did your video and did a comment and you put hashtag wine or hashtag red wine, so anybody that clicks on or searches hashtag red wine. So if we go up here and do a search and we type in search hashtag red wine, 94,000 people posted about red wine. So see, and look, there's David Hartwig. All right, he did red wine. Anybody that's posted with the hashtag red wine is going to show up on red wine. If you've done a hashtag red wine on your post, it's going to show up here. And it could be anything. I like that. I need that
That's
picture.
pretty.
I need that picture. Hold up.
Do you get permission of it?
Hmm?
You have to get permission to get that?
Nope, if it's not copyrighted, I don't see no copyrights on there. I'm going to snip this picture. That
That's
is
a nice
just too cute.
That's a good Valentine or Christmas one.
Or even just home from the day. You know,
Oh yeah.
is this how you feel at the end of the day? So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to my Dropbox. I'm going to go to my blogging pictures. I'm going to go to my wine folder. And I'm going to do wine and women. And I'm going to type in perfect. There we go. So I'll use that somewhere. But anybody else that's, you know, read, this will be, look, there's David Hartwig again. Y'all know he's part of our group. He shows up a lot. So, and same thing, you know, and then if we want to go up here and change your search and just do hashtag wine. Same thing, anybody that's done wine. There's Donna Myers. She just did wine. There's Christy Clue. She's, you know, in Australia. So there's a bunch of people that we've done, you know, wine news, just wine. And then if you want to go in and do, and this is what people do, they search hashtags. And then if you do weight loss coffee, let's see how many people do hashtags. Look how many people is out there doing weight loss coffee. 3.8K. You know, so whether or not you've got a post out here for weight loss, you know, here's somebody that's doing a picture for her stuff that she's doing. Same thing with you. You know, if you got a hashtag out there for your Valentis, you do the same thing. See, here somebody did Optimum Roast. They're Valentis, Sharon O'Connor. You do the same thing. You just hashtag it. You can do the same thing for brain food. Do the same thing, and you can do hashtag brain food or hashtag brand reimagine. Whatever you do the hashtag in, when they come up here and search for hashtags, you know, you got 3.8K people. You can be searching all day, but the more people that click on your post puts you higher in this search.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean that you can't use those hashtags. It just means you're going to be in the group with all these people that's using them, which is still going to get you traffic.
Right.
But creating your own hashtag is also a good way to do it. See, she's got all these hashtags right here that she's used.
You can use several different ones, or do you just stick to?
No, you can use, I think you can use up to 10, I think it is 8 or 10 per post, but you don't want to overwhelm your post with a bunch of hashtags. You want to use ones that you know, because this one it works. I know that's what she does. My son used to buy It Works. He doesn't do it anymore. So, but you know, It Works is a big marketing company, you know, big health thing. So a lot of people use that. But I mean, if you wanted to cross market and type in hashtag It Works and use your Valentis product, you can do that too. Then anybody that's looking for It Works, your Valentis product will show up in their It Works hashtag. So, you know, I forgot what Rory calls that, but it's where you piggyback on another tag that's out there for a similar product.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. That helped?
That helped a lot. Yeah, I'm just really new at all of this social stuff, and I was trying to like put it out there, and then I just tried the other day doing Twitter with hashtags, and that didn't come out very well. So I deleted it.
Yeah, and you can, and that's the thing, just if you delete the hashtag, then everything related to that hashtag goes away. Or they can't follow it, but it doesn't delete your post, just your hashtag.
Okay.
So, and let me read this chat. He said, It's like in another page that is related to something we are trying to sell. Does it hurt us or help us generate sale? Okay, so you can like another page. That just creates, it doesn't create anything for your sales or your pages. It just creates followings for you, because then you've created a contact for that particular page, and then you can join that page or that group, or that person will then become aware of anything that you post out there. It doesn't hurt you to do it, to like the product. And then sometimes in the comments, you can actually put and say, oh, by the way, you know, yeah, I like this product. I use one similar to it too, that gives better results. You know, you can say PM me, or, you know, hashtag whatever to see what I'm talking about. And then if you've got hashtags to those products, then they can click on that hashtag and see what you're talking about. You don't ever want to put your link in another person's comment or another person's site unless you're invited to do that. Some of the sites that I'm part of, or groups I'm part of, is business sites, and they have certain days where they say, all right, here's today where you can post your site, you know, or post your product. And that's where I go in all day, and it's like, okay, I'm going to put in, you know, my link for my brain food. I'm going to put in my link for my Valentis. And then that afternoon, I put in the link for wine. So unless they specifically invite you to post the link, that's where the hashtags also come in handy. But yeah, you can comment. Don't ever comment negatively on somebody's thing, because they'll get rid of you. Always comment positively on it. And then if you want to say, yeah, but you know, you can post your opinion, even if it's a negative opinion. Try not to make it sound negative, so where that they just don't allow you to go in there, because they can block your comment from being seen by the other people that's coming in commenting. So that's one of the things, is you don't want to be negative or really outspoken against something. You can always, you know, give your opinion without being rude. And then, you know, even if you like something or have tried it, or you like the page, always give a positive comment, and then say, oh, like I said, by the way, you know, I've tried something similar, hashtag whatever. You know, if you want to try it, and give my page a look. Or if you have a page out there, and you can say, oh, if you want to, you can give my page a look, and then hashtag it. But you got to make sure that you have stuff out there that you have the hashtag on. You can actually go back and edit your old post and put your hashtag, so that when you do start using the hashtag, more of your stuff comes up. So that's just one of the things you can do. You can go back and follow your old post and go in and click on the edit, which is the 3 dots right here. If it's your page, just click on the 3 dots and just go in and edit your post, and then just put the hashtag. You can put it at the top, at the bottom of the post, not the comments. It has to be in the post. And then start creating that. So then whenever you do comment on other people's like products, and say, hey, if you want to take a look at my page, I'd appreciate it, and then do hashtag whatever it is, and then they can go and see and like your stuff too.
Okay. I got one other question.
Okay.
We have our Monday wines, right? And that's an invite for anybody we want to bring in to check it out. Am I correct?
That's anybody. And same thing with the wine and dine on Wednesday. Same thing with the wine and dine on Tuesday. Anybody is open for that. That's why I created the meme on actually where is it at?
I have people that want to know about the wine and how much it costs and all of the details. Well, I know about it, but to try to explain it without showing them, it's frustrating.
Get them on the Monday night call, definitely, and then on the wine and dine, because they always go over that on Wednesday night, and Rory goes over it every Monday.
Right, I noticed that, and I thought, man, this would be a great place for my people to come in.
Yep. And the best way to do that is create a page. That's why Rory tells everybody, create your own wine and dine page. And in that wine and dine, you're going to have 3 elements. One, you're going to be talking about the wines, where they come from. You're going to be talking about the business aspect, the customer aspect of it, and you're going to talk about the business aspect of it. And in each one of those, you're going to have the link to the customer aspect. You're going to send them to the Monday night call, And then on the business aspect of it, you're going to send them to the Monday night call or the Wednesday night call. That way they can see the wine, and then you can say, and if you decide to join or want to do this as a business side, you can send them to the Saturday afternoon call at 12, where they can come in and actually see training on how to market the program. So you want to create that wine and dine page and use it as a wine and dine, or you can say, you know, virtual social wine program, social dinner, or virtual food and pairing show. Any way you want to use your key phrase, and create that page around that, and put it on your website. And then when people are asking you, it's like, oh, here, I got a page I want you to read. It's got some information on how you can join us on our webinars. And then there's all your links. And then not only are they getting information on the wine, but you're also generating traffic because you're directing them to your web page to go get the link to join us on our wine shows.
So like when I go to invite them for the Monday night, Wednesday night, so the link that I'm sending them, is that my own personal link, or am I sending them the one that we log into?
Yep, the one you log into.
Okay, and that is a link, right? Because I just have it saved on
Yep.
on
Yeah, so
Zoom.
if you create a page, like here's my student information page. So if I haven't created my wine and dine page, but if I created a wine and dine page, you would just go in and create it and talk about, you know, wine in general, talk about the customer side, talk about the business side. And then at the end of it, I would say, right here, we have our Monday night opportunity call, you know, and then I would have the Zoom link for a Monday night opportunity call. And it would be like this: open to friends and family, family and friends who want to hear about Wine Ambassador, as well as how we build our huge customer bases for our wine businesses. Okay. And then you can do,
I can just
Tuesday
copy that link right there, correct?
Yep. And then same thing, like here, join our wonderful Wine Wednesday show. You know, Wednesdays are wine every Wednesday. Wine Wednesdays called it. There is a Wine Wednesday call every Wednesday. More is welcome to call. Got to change that. Listen to wonderful stories and training on a one anchor. And then knowledge and encouragement, you know, and then here's the information on that, the call, the number. And then same thing I did Tuesday, you know, make it to Tuesday call. You know, this is training on how, you know, to build your business up. And then, you know, put this in your page.
But Tuesday night's not for everybody though, right?
Yep. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Mondays are for everybody.
Tuesday?
Thursday, yeah, Tuesday. You can invite people to Tuesday call. Mm-hmm.
So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is open to anybody. And then Saturday afternoon, Thursdays, we kind of reserve that for people that are in PBS because that's Paul's training. Saturday, you can invite people, excuse me, to see the business aspect of the wine program. But if they're not in wine, it's going to be kind of confusing to them, but it is a way for them to see how we market. Excuse me, let me get you something to drink.
Okay.
And then, but they can come to it. You can put that in there in your page. They are welcome to come and see the marketing aspect of it. But like my classes and Paul's class on Saturday and Thursday class is strictly, you know, for people in PBS.
I had some people come in with me on Wednesday night, but I don't know if they got bored or didn't understand or what, but they checked out early.
And it's because they don't understand. And you need to market it that it is a virtual amateur wine and dine. We cook on TV or we cook on camera. We have conversations just like we would at a table in person. It's not professional. And I think a lot of people, when they see it, they think it's going to be a professional show, like, you know, the Paula Deen show or whatever, the Emil show. And it's not. It's virtual, it's raw, it's uncut. It's just regular people sharing their dinner with the world, basically.
Okay.
So you need to present it like that. Say, this is not professional people. These are people that have invited us into their home, and they're going to show us how they're preparing their dinner or their meal and what wine they're pairing it with. And it's uncut, it's uncensored, but it is just regular, ordinary, everyday people.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That took care of a lot of my stuff.
Okay.
Who was it that did the sharky thing? He had that hood on for shark.
Oh, that's Whiskey Matt. He's crazy.
Yeah, Matt. He was
He's
so
fun
funny.
though, but
Yeah.
he's crazy. He's
Yeah.
fun though. So, but he knows how to market. So that's the thing. That's why Roy has him on there. He knows how to market. He knows how to reach the people, reach out to people. So, but he cooks he actually is on his Facebook Live while he's on our Zoom cooking. So he has a whole group of people that follow him cooking. But that's why cooking is so
Get that
important.
name.
What, Whiskey Matt?
Yes.
That's Roy and Tanya gave him that on one
Oh,
of
all
the
right.
trips
Okay.
they went on together.
Oh, all right. That says a lot right there.
Yeah. Yes, that's why they call him Whiskey Matt. But he's fun. He's fun to be around. But that's why I said, based on a study that I read yesterday, an article I read yesterday, Facebook Live, even podcast, live recording on Instagram has become so popular because people are tired of seeing the same thing on TV every day. So they have the ratings on those Facebook Live posts have shot through the roof in the last 3 months. So it's just, if you can get out of your comfort zone, we do it with our wine unboxings, do a Facebook Live on those when you do them, or even just upload it in a video. But if you can do a fake live of your wine unboxing, or even like the one I did, crazy, my daughter did last week, on Vela Vita, I didn't know she was recording. She's just like, well, Mom, if you had to tell somebody about this, what would you do? I had my hair in a messy ponytail. I didn't have on no makeup. We're standing in the kitchen, and she was like, well, wait a minute, I got to finish this text. And I was like, really? And the whole time she was recording me. That was poked my butt. I was like, girl.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going live with this. I was like, with what? But I got so many hits, still getting hits with that. It's amazing. But things like
Your
that.
natural self.
That's what she said. She said, Mama, people wants to see this raw and uncut, that you're actually using this, not just a post with a picture. And it makes sense, because now they see me live doing it. So now she's got me pulling out all my old Halloween costumes. She's got this whole thing she wants to do next week. And it's like, okay. So that's why I was creating these Halloween memes. Now she's going to, my cousin, I think I'm cooking the 21st, the third week in October, I think, is I'm cooking. And I don't drink wine, so that's going to be kind of hard for me. So my cousin heard about it. She was up there this week, and she's like, come to my house. I'll invite the girls over. And she said, I'll cook my fettuccine, and let them drink. I was like, thank you, God. That's what I'll do. So we got a big shindig planned out for the day that I'm cooking. But just things like that. She's going to have me dressed up in one of my vampire outfits that I have one year, with the wig and everything. And she's got this thing about, I'm going to hold up a glass of wine and it says, why drink blood when wine is so much sweeter, and things like that. And just post it, have it Facebook Live, and be in full costume. So, but things like that, it makes sense. It's something different. And then at the end of it, I'm just going to say #Shop with Mama Chief. And then boom, there's all the things that they can see with Shop with Mama Chief. So there's things that you can do to get access to your website, to get people to follow you, to get people to know that you have something out there that's different, to know that you have products out there that's available that they may or may not need. Because some people shop on impulse. Right now, people are shopping because they're bored of being at home. So they're getting on the internet shopping. So that's why I said, go ahead, and the pages that you have finished, post them everywhere, post them, you know, just to get people to know, hey, yeah, I got things that you can use. I got stuff that's helpful to get rid of that tire tube that you put on while you're sitting on the couch during COVID, you know, things like that. But yeah, just start doing those templates for pages that you've done. And if you don't get anything else out of what we do here, just every day you need to be doing something for your business. Like I told my student yesterday, this isn't something that's a hobby for me. This is my income, you know, and I want it to get to the point to where I can tell my husband, hey, you know, I got us covered. Come home and let's, you know, travel, do whatever you want. You want to play ball 7 days a week? Find teams. Let's go. You know, you want to kidnap the grandkids and let's go somewhere for a month? We're ready. We're there. So that's it. And if you're looking at it that way, then you're going to do whatever it takes. You're actually going to work harder for yourself than you're going to work for your boss. That's not meaning that you're going to tell your boss to take a hike tomorrow because you don't have the income. It just means you got to put in that extra work to get there so that when the time's right, you can look at your boss and say, you know, it's costing me money to work for you. I got to go, you know.
See, that's something I need to work on, is the templates. I don't even, I sit there and look at it and go, how do I do it? Oh my gosh, where do I go?
You got to get the pages done first.
Okay.
I told you don't work on nothing else till we get those pages done.
Okay.
Get the pages done.
Yes,
I want
ma'am.
those pages done. Let me say it one more time. Linda Marie, get those pages done.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's just the, you know, the key. Do something every day. Even with all the stuff that I have to do, and even getting more students, I still try to write at least 2 pages a week in my website. And if I'm not writing, I'm posting to Facebook, just like that one post, you know, look, I've already gotten 3 hits already, you know, or in Instagram, or doing something on LinkedIn, or going to a website and posting a couple of ads. Anytime you have a free moment and you want to sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna watch TV for a few minutes, pull up your laptop and post some ads while you're glancing at that screen. Don't just sit and do nothing. Make all your time as productive as you can. You know, and just make it work. I wish I had 30 hours in a day. I probably still wouldn't sleep. When I say I average about 3 hours of sleep, before I was only doing about 4 or 5, but here lately I pop about 3 Velavitas a day. Because it's like, okay, I got to finish this. I need to do this. I need to take care of this. and it really gives me that boost. But when I go to sleep, I sleep. I'm not tossing and turning. And then when I get up, I'm awake and refreshed. I don't feel like, oh God, I got to lay back down. It's like I'm awake, I'm up, I pop a Velavita and some hot chocolate Valentis, and I'm ready to go again. And I literally do put my Valentis in and my Velavita in my hot chocolate Valentis. And trust me, I am good to go for about 6 hours. So it works, you know, both of them work really good. But just do something every day. I know Miss Susan was talking about it's just hard to get back. Take baby steps, you know, do a little bit of something every day and then increase that little bit daily, you know, weekly. If you're doing 1 page a week, then the next couple of weeks, bump it up to where you can do 2 pages a week. If you're doing, you know, 5 V-marketing posts, then the next day bump it up to 6. Just small increments to where you can actually get it to where it becomes a habit. It's like, okay, I can't do anything until I finish this. There's actually days I'm like, okay, I'm tired, but I need to go to bed. No, I can't. I got to finish. I cannot rest until I finish what I said I needed to do. It needs to become to the point to where you have to do it. It's part of you then. It's like I said,
That's what's
this is
kept
not
me up till 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it's that late until 11 o'clock. Oh man, I got to get in bed. I got to finish this page. Wait.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes it's that way. I mean, like with me right now, I still have my grandson that I'm homeschooling, you know, at least through this quarter. You know, so I get up with him, and we're having to use my hotspot because my daughter doesn't have internet. So I have to make sure that the hotspot's fast enough for him. So I can't be on my calls. I can't, you know, be doing a whole lot that's involving pulling up a lot of tabs. So that's where I'm writing or I'm modifying my own pages. I don't do a lot of searches. I don't post ads or anything. When he gets finished school, then that's where I start getting on my calls. I start doing my student trainings. Because then he's off of his internet, he's playing or whatever, taking care, he's watching, he's perfect for the baby. He just thinks that's a new toy. But that gives me time to go in and do what I need to do. And, you know, I could say that I don't have fast internet and use that as an excuse not to do anything. But like Roy says, if you take a week off and do nothing, then the next week it's like, oh God, where do I need to start? Or it's like, I don't have time, I'll take another week. And then before you know it, it's 2 months down the road and you don't have anything. And it's like, now where do I start? It's like starting all over. So
For me, it's just a day. If I miss it for a day, it's like, oh my God, I'm lost. What?
Yeah.
And then I start digging.
Exactly.
Okay.
Start over. So don't, like I said, if it's nothing but looking at your site, seeing what needs to be changed, thinking about your name of your website. You know, if you want to change your name, if you've never changed the name of your website, that's the perfect time to do it. You know, if you just feel like you're burnt out from writing or modifying, then that's where you go in and say, okay, I need to create, you know, to go and post some ads on my page. And a lot of people, it's like, well, I don't have a template. Then just pull up an ad site and look at that blank screen and say, okay, what am I going to write? And then after you write it, pull up a Word document or a Google Doc and copy and paste what you wrote into your Google Doc. That's your first template. And then do it every time you write something. And then before you know it, you got 5 or 6 templates that you didn't know you had just because you just started from scratch. But you have to start somewhere, and just start, and just do something. And then you'll look at those docs and say, okay, I got 5 things I wrote. Then guess what? You could modify or add to those, and the next thing you know, you got 10. And then just pull out the links that you need to put with them. But just do something every day. And if you're having trouble, get with your instructor. If you can't, if you're in a Skype chat, type it out in the Skype chat and say, hey, I need some help with this. Anybody got any opinions? I promise you somebody will give you some feedback on it. If it's a situation where you need to get with your instructor, then we'll direct you. And those of us that have access, we'll say, okay, we'll let your instructor know. If it's like, hey, your student's been on here 5 times asking for help. Is there something that we need to help you with? Because we don't ever step over instructors to get to their student. But sometimes an instructor will say, yeah, can you help them out? I'm really busy. I got another one that I need, you know, that's pulling me away from it. And we'll be glad to step in. But post your questions out in those Skype chats, you know, and see who can help you. And if it's not an appropriate thing, then we'll let you know. Say, hey, you really need to get with the instructor on that. Just don't be negative. You know, we deal with negativity every day outside in the outside world. We don't need it in our group. It should be all positive. If it's really, really extremely negative and bothering you, that's definitely a place you need to get with your instructor and vent. Don't vent on a Skype chat, because you don't know how it will impact somebody else. It'll become their problem, and it wasn't theirs to start off with. So that's just my 2 cents for today. So, all right. So I think that's it.
Can I just ask one more thing?
You sure can.
Okay. Could you go into a little bit more what Paul was talking about in the webinar this morning, where he said that with pictures, you usually do the alt attributes with your focus keyword, but then he said you could put like record Merlot.
Record Merlot. Yep. All right. This is a prime example. All right, this is my information sheet that I give to all of my new students, and it's the flow. I call it my flow chart, my student information page, and it has all the links to, you know, step 1. Here's where you go to RR247. Here's spreadsheets for different information. So here's a picture that I have for ways to make money, but it's telling them to go to Response Magic. My key phrase in this, if I go to click Edit Page, well, never mind. I don't want to do that. I already got it up. So if I go up here, let's just close this one out. So my key phrase to this whole page in my focus keyword, let me open up my SEO, is Student Information System, okay? So that's my keyword for my page, okay, which is perfect. So I have that throughout here because I have green and green, but now my images also have to have that key phrase. So I do. So this one right here, I have make money online as my key phrase. It's not my focus key phrase, which was student information. Why? Because this image I want related to ways to make money. Okay, so on Google Images, when it pulls up, if people are looking for make money online, my image shows up. Okay. Plus, if somebody's looking for make money online, because I have that as the alternate key phrase, this whole page will come up because there's my image. All right, same thing with here, tipping circle. I click on here, free TV. This picture is related to free TV. So if anybody's looking for free cable TV, here's my image. But if they double click that link for my image, it's going to bring them to this page. But my image is still searchable for free TV. So you can have alternate, same thing with this one. Let's see what this one is. Here's my image. It's talking about wine ambassador. So what does my image have? Fine wines. So if somebody's looking for fine wines, I can put that. Now I can actually come here and change this and change it to Rickard Merlot, or I can change it to Freedom. So now if anybody is searching for Rickard Merlot and they're in images, my image will come up. And then it's got my logo on there. So then I can hit update. But same thing with this one. This one's probably got, see, this says student information sheet because you have to have pictures related to your key phrase, or you're going to get you're going to get that warning down at the bottom that you don't have anything. You have 20, see, this one says I need to use it, but you're going to have it in there to where right here, your alternate image attributes, you're going to have that as a red because it's going to say you got 10 images and only 4 of them have your alternative, your attribute. You need more. So if you have 10 images.
I thought that meant you had to put a sentence in with the picture. I didn't know it related to that box to the right there.
Yeah, no, that means this right here. That means you have to have a key phrase. If you don't put anything in here, Google can't use your image for when people search for something because they don't know what it's related to. So you want to make sure every image on your website has an alternative text in it. Then that means when Google or people are searching for something and it's your key phrase, if you have it related to a picture in your website, it'll show up and it'll tell them where that picture came from. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about Google and how Google searches. It searches for key phrases. So if you go into Google and just search, let me come here, hold on, do update. So if you come here to Google search and you want to type in student information sheet, okay? So it's going to pull up images for student information sheet. That's it. Okay, so here's everything. There's Pinterest, student information sheet, all this stuff. See, mine's not showing up because I don't advertise that. That's for my students. Okay, so I can come here to images and it's going to pull up student information sheet. Up under here, it tells you where it came from. Okay, where that information sheet came from. If you click it, it shows the sheet. Okay. If you double click it, it takes you to the website that sheet came from. So that's traffic. But if you don't have it listed on your sheet, or if you don't have that alternative text on your image, Google can't put your images for people to search because you haven't told them what it's related to. So same
Otherwise,
thing
they can't
here.
find you.
Yeah, they can't find you. Rickard Merlot. So I'm going to put Rickard Merlot and do images. So there, all the images. So because I haven't advertised that page, my images aren't going to come up. But here are people like 5p94.com. They've used the word Rickard Merlot. So you can click on the image and see it. But then if you double click here, it takes you to that person's website. Now, here's the key. Their focus key phrase is fine wines, because this is their fine wines page. But they have mentioned Rickard Merlot in this image as their alternative text. That's why it shows up. So that's why the alternative text is key. But you don't have to have every alternative text to be your exact focus key phrase for your page. You can make it relative or relating to the actual topic that it's talking about. Here's somebody that did Hudson. It's on Twitter. Nick's Niche. So I don't know who that is, but that's our wine. That's Hudson's wine. That's our Hudson sparkling. See, there's Priscilla. She's on there. And I guarantee you that she's put Rickard Merlot somewhere on there. And it could just be they're pulling up anything on Merlot. You just never know. But these are images.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then if you wanted to just go to all. Now, I don't want Rickard. So this is where Paul was talking about when you are creating pages or modifying your pages that's out there that you're advertised. Don't change your focus key phrase. Just add paragraphs to the existing key phrase, to the existing page, and mention the wine specifically by name. Put a couple of images or change the focus key phrase or the alternative text to a couple of the pictures so that your pages show up here. So like the one that's 54, a wine for everyone. See, Merlot just is mentioned in there. It's not the topic. Same with your snippet, your meta description. Put it in there, hey, we're featuring our Rickard Merlot in our fine wines, this month. Here's Wine Ambassador, goes viral, whatever it's talking about. Here's 90. They actually did Merlot. This is Kim. I think it's Kim Moore. She's on page 1 of a search. That's amazing.
That's what we're after.
That's what you're after. Here's another one. I don't know who this is, Cheryl. I don't know if that's Cheryl Hoyt or not. But these are our pages. She's on page 2. That's great. These are paid ads. You know what that means? Her traffic is being out these paid ads.
Wow.
So that's amazing. Go to page 3. How many? There's 2 Q84. That's Paul.
Yeah.
Look, he's on page 3. This is what he was using today. His focus key phrase is how to make pizza. But because he talks about the Rickard Merlot, it shows up and it pulls out the phrase where it's at. So here's something that's talking about Rickard Merlot. He doesn't have it as his key phrase at all. Same thing here, 1R02. He's just talking about the private label is only available, but his key phrase is one of the month clubs. Here's Edison. This is Rodin. Merlot and chocolate is heaven. And he's just talking about Merlots. Here's another one. They're just talking about Merlot and Rickard Merlot. So Facebook, when it pulls out stuff, here's another one, 2J76, talking about baked corned beef. They talked about Rickard Merlot. This is ours too. So Facebook pulls out relevant key phrases throughout your whole content. So that's why I tell people when I write pages, if I found 2 or 3 different key phrases that are really, really good, I always take the first one that has the most traffic and use that as my main focus key phrase. Then I make sure throughout my content that I use those other words or phrases in my content, because then when people search them, they are searching for that particular word. My page will still come up because it's in the content. It's in a picture. It's in a phrase. So that's why the key phrase is important, but that's why you always need to use it in your content. And then other relevant key phrases that you know of, use those too, because Google uses any place that that word shows up, they will post it as a relevant place for a resource or a resource for research. So yes, your key phrase is important, but the wording is just as important as that key phrase. So that's why he said, if you've already posted a page, don't go in and change your slug. Don't go in and change your key phrase. Just go in and add content that pulls out that word, you know, and then advertise it. If you've got advertising out there and it's generating traffic, then by people searching for Rickard Merlot and you have it in there, or even the Ashley, you know, wine, or the Hudson Bubbly, you know, or the Freedom Chardonnay, you put that out there and people are looking, just say they type in the word freedom, you know, and you've got a page out there that has the word Freedom Chardonnay in it. So let's type in the word freedom. Well, if I can spell it.
I'm going to ask you to spell it. How to spell Chardonnay?
Is that it? Chardonnay? Chardonnay. That's terrible, ain't it? Chardonnay. Spell it.
Right there it is.
Is that it? Yeah, I knew it. All right. Freedom Chardonnay. So let's see who has Freedom Chardonnay.
Did you want the Merlot on there?
Is it Merlot? No.
Yes.
Is it a Merlot?
I don't
No,
know.
Chardonnay is not necessarily a Merlot, but it can be.
So we want the Freedom, but the one that we have, is it a, see, and we haven't had anybody writing on the Freedom Chardonnay. So guess what? That's a prime word that you can go in and put in your page if it's a Chardonnay.
Mm-hmm.
So if our Freedom is a Chardonnay, then somebody needs to come in, because none of these have it in here. That don't mean that people have not written about the Freedom Chardonnay. They just haven't advertised it to get on here. So we need to get those of you that have wine pages out, there's you some good key searches right there. I mean, there's 2 million results of people that have Freedom Chardonnay in their pages. None of them are our sites. So that will be something that you can put in and go back and modify your wine pages or your recipe pages, that you can pair Freedom Chardonnay.
What would you pair with it? I ain't got
Yes.
a clue.
I don't know if we got Freedom Chardonnay, but we got Chardonnay.
Yeah, Freedom is one of our new wines.
Oh, okay.
It's exclusively to Wine Ambassador. And I think it's a Chardonnay. I have to look at my bottle. Let's around there and see if it's a Chardonnay. But yeah, you can go into your pictures and images and you can change the link, the alternative text to any of your images. You just don't want to do a bunch of them. And then what happens is when people go to images and search for a Rickard Merlot or Freedom Chardonnay, then your pictures will show up. And then, like I just showed you, if they double click the picture, it takes them to the page that reference refers to. wherever Google pulled that picture from, that's where that picture, the reference will take them to, and it should be your page.
You know, another one I think that would be good to do something with like this would be that proverb.
The what?
The proverb wine
One.
cup that
Yes.
we sell.
Yes,
And
exactly.
They print different proverbs on the bottle.
Yep, and
Really?
that's another thing. That's one of the things
Wow.
Roy was talking about was the parables. You got the parables in white, parables in red, and talk about that. You know, the more the muse. He did one a couple of weeks ago on more the muse, using that as a keyword. And there's nothing out there with more than muse. There's more of a muse, but just put more the muse. And like I said, you don't even have to use it as a keyword. You can use it in your content when you're writing, especially when you're going back and refreshing. I'm going back to refresh a lot of my pages, my wine pages that came with my site. After I modified them, I haven't touched a majority of them again. I'm going back to refresh them and put some, like, you know, they were saying, you know, exclusively our wines, because they're not going to be able to get them in a store. They're not going to be able to get them at restaurants. They can only get them exclusively from our Wine Ambassador Club. So that'd be a perfect thing to be able to go in and modify your own pages.
Yeah, I remember getting a shipment it came in my first shipment of wine, and I thought it was just going to be kind of a white wine, but then the next shipment was a red wine.
Mm-hmm. That's the parables. It comes in white and red, and they have sayings on it. Same thing with the More Than Muse. It actually has the Greek muses. So they are, and I think it has a poem on it.
Yeah.
So
I don't get the wine anymore,
but yeah,
I
you can
will
still,
sometime.
it's there, and you can, like I said, just take the content. You got pages out there, go ahead and relate. You know, just add content with the current wines that we have. Update your pages so that you get that traffic.
I'm
Okay. Did that help,
curious.
Estelle?
They're still charging me $25 a month, huh?
Who?
Even when I haven't been able to participate, they're still charging me $25 a month.
You need to go in and make sure you haven't ordered names. You need to go in and change that. Yeah,
Okay.
just, if you still have access to your back office, go in and fix that.
I mean, I don't want them, you know, not to take everything away from me. But, you know, and I was going to ask you, could you please send me, you know, on Skype or whatever, send me a link to that I have never gotten into Response Magic on my pages yet.
Okay.
And being
you need to get that from Stacy.
Sick with this, I'm lucky to have any mind left.
Do you? Yeah.
It's, you know. Oh,
Stacy would have to give you a link. Do you have your link?
No, I was just looking at when I saw it come up on yours, and I thought, well, maybe
get with Stacy.
That link.
Yeah, you have to get that from your instructor. Yeah, you have to get that link from your instructor.
Okay.
Yeah, so get with Stacy and tell her you need your Response Magic link. And
okay.
she will get that for you, and then you can just register and create your own.
I think even before I start modifying or working on my pages, I think putting the Response Magic might be something I can just do over and over and over and build the brain back up.
Yep. If you've already started, and I know you've started, you're modifying. After you've done your wine pages and coffee pages, your Response Magic should be the next thing that you have on your site.
Yeah, well, I haven't done all of them, but I'm thinking just because of the type of illness, you know, thing I'm going through right now, that maybe the Response Magic, by just doing the repetitive thing, I don't have to worry about putting everything in a different page. It's just a repetitive activity.
Yep. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, get with Stacy and say, hey, I don't have a response magic code from you, and she'll be able to get it to you because she's your instructor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I
send
mean,
her.
I don't know if they're going to find the source of the bleeding or not. I have no way of knowing, but they're putting me under general anesthesia.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep you in prayer, Miss Susan. You'll get back in it, I'm sure.
I hope so, honey. I hope so. And I hope somebody comes through with helping me with rent, because I do not know, you know, I'm perfectly scared right now. And I just like being with people that I consider friends.
Yep. Hey, you ain't got to go nowhere. Come in anytime. We talk. That's why I said, you know, we're here to help everybody. Sometimes it's just, like you said, just being in contact so that you know that it's not going anywhere.
Because I wasn't going to be really close contact with Stacy, because at the beginning she was telling me that we're not supposed to be friends, we're supposed to be instructors.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how not to do that.
Yeah. And some people don't. It will develop. I promise you. It will. We'll get there.
Now. It is a bit now. I kind of turned it around on her.
Yeah.
In my own way, and she got real mad at me for about a week. And all of a sudden, it made sense because she needed a shoulder. You know, getting ready to go and all of this stuff going on and packing the house, and she needed a shoulder for the stress. And she, you know, and this was before I found out I was bleeding, and you know, actually went into critical condition where I could have died any minute.
Yeah, that's why I said we try. That's one of the things we always want to try to do.
Nurse. Come on, you know. But
well, you know we're here.
In a blood, you see somebody come in and they look half drunk, but they're very thin, you know. And the doctor took one look at me and knew I was very sick. And he told the medical student, he said, I've been her doctor for years, but she's never been sick. But, and then he looked at him and he said, but this former nurse is very sick.
Well, you're going to come through this. I have no doubt of that. You're going to come back stronger than ever.
I'm not an alcoholic. I mean, you know, every once in a while, like my doctor said, when I'm ready to go to sleep, I need to drink about 2 sips of wine.
I have another student that say, actually one of my customers, that's what she told her doctor, and that's what he said. He said, if you could drink a glass of wine at night before you go to bed, you could probably get off of half of your medications.
I've heard that. I heard that in nursing school and outside of it from several doctors.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for people that work and, you know, when there are hardliners and everything on their table. And
oh, I know. I still can't. I know my dad, he started, gave him a bottle of red wine because he's having some blood issues. And that's one of the things I gave him. I said, here, take a glass of this tonight. And I showed him a glass. I said, not a huge glass, just a small glass. Yeah. I said at night before you go to bed. And he was telling me, you know, he can tell a difference, big difference. I actually got a box of Elevita I'm going to be sending him and my mom. My mom just finished ordering her Valenta. She orders 6 at a time because she really loves coffee. And she calls me panicking every month or whenever she orders it, because she always loses my link and I always have to resend it to her. But she says she can tell a big difference when she misses it. And she doesn't have it to put mixed with her coffee. She said she has no energy.
Around here where I'm living is the apartment complex. They're hoping I get my apartment all fixed with the dead bed bugs.
Oh, no. I hate those things. We get red bugs around here early spring, And it's just because of all the wood we have. We have lots of trees, so.
Well, I got some used furniture, and they came in with it,
Oh, boy.
and I knew people that were giving it to me, and I even helped one of them's housemate when she was dying from, turned out to be that Lou's disease that goes with Parkinson's disease,
Mhm.
that usually winds up being the killer. And Sarah developed that. She managed to do it the day after her housemate had gone to see her father, who was dying.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about pressure, but she started giving me some of Sarah's things, and I knew they had bed bugs before, but there was no sign of them present anywhere. So I got her desk and recliner, and
And they're full of them.
they hatched.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, nobody could see them, but out of the corners and things, they hatched.
Mm.
So now, I'm going to be able to do this, and it's all hitting when I'm so weak.
Yeah, and you don't need that.
No,
Not right
I don't
now.
need that, but
It happens.
I'm hoping, I'm praying with maybe some of the organizations I've talked to, or even my church is working on trying to find the money to help me out over here.
Yeah, we'll be praying for that, Miss Susan. I promise you.
And, with going through the procedure, I can't do any mystery shopping to pull more extra money in.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out doing a Wells Fargo audit and bet, of one of these bankers and walk in with a walker. And right now I'm running out of breath even with the walker.
Yeah. Well, just take it, take it easy. You'll get through this. I have no doubt you'll get through it.
I'm over halfway to 97.
There you go. You'll be all right. We'll be here whenever you need something. Just give us a holler. You just come on, sit down and talk. We like to talk too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Say
my prayers,
a
Susan.
lot. She will though. She'll type a sentence when I put in there, and I tell her, some good news. She'll say, "Yay!" and type a half a sentence.
There you go. Well, just get with her and tell her you need that response magic code.
Because
all right, guys. Is there anything else we need to go over?
No.
Anybody got anything else they need to be seen? If not, we're going to call it a day.
Saying
soon
prayers
can you
for
get-
you, Susan.
Yes.
Saying prayers for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
How soon can you get this video?
It will probably be up later tonight because it usually takes about 10 minutes to download, and then I'm in the middle of doing my posting, because after I do this I usually spend about 2 hours posting ads or finishing up my page. So usually around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight it'll be up on my YouTube channel.
Well,
Give me a shortcut. How do I get to that list?
What list?
That list that you pointed out
Go to the chat. Go to the chat. I posted the link in there.
Yeah, I highlighted and linked it, and I haven't clicked on anything yet, but I end up losing it because I click on something else. Oh man, you just lost it. So I'll get it as soon as I get off here.
I'll post it in our chat so you can have it.
Thank you.
Dear. You're welcome.
Sheila?
Yes.
Mike Brown had a question about using the Rickard Merlot. Can you use it on more than one page? He's asking.
Oh yeah, you can use it anywhere. It's just like another link, but you want to make sure that you're not using it on a page that has nothing to do with wine.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Or an image like Paul said. You don't want to link Rickard Merlot to pizza. That has nothing to do with wine. You don't want to put a wine, name, you know, like the Freedom Chardonnay with, you know, a business suit or briefcase or anything else like that. You want to make sure that whatever you're linking it to is relevant, and that when they double click it for the page that it came off of, it's actually talking about the product somewhere. You just don't want to haphazardly put a name or key phrase somewhere that is irrelevant to what you're talking about. Number one, Google will ban you, and you won't be able to advertise your site because they consider that false or misleading advertising. And number two, if you do get past it, then people that click on it, they will comment that you are a false advertising site, that you're a spam site, because you're piggybacking a key name on something that is totally irrelevant to that name. So whenever you're doing that type of marketing and you're actually putting a name or a key phrase to a product, make sure that product's relevant, or that the page that you have it in is relevant to the word you're using. That way you're covered. You know, like I said, you don't want to put Rickard Merlot on a clothing picture unless they click on it and they come to it and they can read about the Rickard Merlot, and then you actually are cross-marketing clothes with it. So that's the only way you could get away with it. But for the most part, you want to make sure that if you are using those types of words, that the images you're using with it are relative or relevant to that word. But you can use it anywhere that you're using wine. But don't just use the Rickard. They're just using that because it's Rory. You know, any of the wines we have, you know, we got the Parables in white, the Parables in red. We have the More Than Muse, the Freedom Chardonnay, the Ashley wine, the Hudson sparkling. Which ones? I think which one is the?
Where do you get a list of the wine names?
Roy has them listed. I got to remember where it's at. It was on that page he did. So if you go to rory3.com, that's his new website, is where he has them listed. But I think he's going to do a training on it too. I know he was doing a training on it today on the wine program. But you go to Priscilla's site for the wine, Saturday wine training. He has it from last week. There's a list. Okay, so if you have a picture of a wine on a page and you put the name on the picture. No, the alternative text has nothing to do with the key phrase, the focus key phrase. The alternative text is just that. It's an alternative text that you are relating that picture with. The only time you will see that the key phrase has already been used is if you have it as a key phrase. Does that make sense, Mike? Okay, got it. Perfect. All right, if there's no more questions, we're going to call it a day. And y'all have a blessed weekend, and we will see you on the wine call on Monday.
You too,
Alrighty
Sheila.
then.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Sheila. You're awesome.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Have fun
everybody.
with your grandson.